like we came for the ransom. I'm in the field, 2-minute drill, highlight reel. Let's review, what's the deal, okay? Watching footage going out of control. Buckle up, we got an hour to go, so let's go, that's straight heat. Ain't no chillin' around here. Back that back, Nat Chance, how we feelin' around here? Got my whole squad in the building around here. If my name ain't on it, then I really don't care. Come on. 3-point stance, we advance. Ball in my hands, I don't take no chance. Touchdown dance, that's my jam. No hot takes, this is nothing but rants. Nothing but rants. Nothing but rants. Nothing but rants. On the beat, hey. Yeah.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to MBR, or as we like to call it around here, Nothing But Rants, the show where I find topics that I'm oddly passionate about and I pontificate upon them. These are not hot takes, but rather takes that I'm hot about. What's up? You really like that?
Let's shut up and grind some tape.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome in to the Film Guy Network on a fabulous Thursday evening. We got a loaded one for you here. Last show, best show. We've got a bunch of spring football games going on this weekend all across college football and all across the country. Big weekend out there in the state of Texas. Texas and Texas A&M have their spring game. Georgia has their spring game this weekend. Auburn is out there on the plains. Michigan and Ohio State and Miami of note that are playing their spring games this weekend. We got full previews tonight on the show on those fronts. We've also got news and notes to hit on tonight as well. And we got the homie Josh Pate teasing a $100 million roster in the, I believe he said, imminent future. The imminent future, which I don't know big words, but I think that means like soon. It means like rapidly.
It eventually happens.
Okay.
In the future, like it's
in the future
going to happen.
I thought imminent is like an adjective for like it's going to happen soon. It's a pressing, almost like a synonym for pressing.
It means about to happen.
There you go.
It's like something
See?
like you can't stop from happening.
Yes. Okay. Imminent. There you go. Imminent $100 million rosters, and apparently, per his sourcing, $60 million rosters as early as this year, 2026. We'll talk about that tonight as well. I need you to absolutely, up here, up front, like, subscribe, tell a friend. If you are watching us right now, if you're listening to the sound of my voice, I need you to hit that thumbs up button over here on YouTube, and I need you to fire off in that chat. I need you to subscribe, and if you haven't already, I need you to tell a friend about this place. We've been flooded with a bunch of new subscribers as of late. 95.6 thousand subscribers. I expect that to be somewhere near 96,000 by end of weekend. We're on our way to 100K. So that's good news. We want to get there as fast as possible. Got a loaded one for you tonight, as we mentioned. I do want to start with a dad story. How about this?
Okay. Dad story?
Yeah, Jonathan, about to be a papa. I am a papa of 2. My son is 5. My daughter is 3. And my wife comes home from picking the kids up from school today, and I'm in the film room in here grinding some tape on some NFL draft prospects. And apparently, when she went to go pick Carter up from school today, the teacher meets her at the door and says, "Man, Carter had us just cackling in class today. Apparently, we asked the kids, what does your dad do for work? Does your dad work? What does your dad do?" And Carter told the class that his dad just sits on the couch and watches football.
I mean, that's a pretty sick job.
It is a pretty sick job. The teacher definitely thought it was a joke. My wife had to kind of chuckle and go, "Well, he's not telling the truth. That is kind of what dad does. Dad does kind of just sit on the couch and watch football." So, yeah.
Love that.
It's good life. It's good life I got going on. I would like to watch a little bit less film right now. I accidentally left the iPad up when I went to sleep the other night, so Tuesday does not count. But I'm at like 6.5 hours a day right now. And I love what I do. But 6.5 hours of tape a day is a lot. But hey, hopefully that'll come to an end pretty soon, and then we'll get some spring tape. So that'll be good. That'll be good. We'll get right back into it. Maybe June or July, get a breather.
Probably.
Get right back into it.
And then you'll be wishing you were breaking down film.
Right. And then I'll be right back into it wishing I had the clicker in my hand. It's a loaded show. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, and telling a friend. We got news, Jonathan. I got 3 story items for you. Okay. You get a choice. Okay. And wherever you say, we go.
Really?
Unless you make a terrible decision.
Oh, so there
pressure's
is a terrible
on.
option.
Pressure's on. Here are your options. You ready?
Yeah.
5 to play 5.
Uh-huh.
Cam Coleman. $100 million rosters.
Those are pretty good topics, too.
5 for 5.
You want 5 for 5? You're wrong. We're going to start with Cam Coleman.
Dang, dude, you fumbled again.
That was a terrible option.
It's not a terrible option.
Well, you said,
said unless
it would
you
get
make
to
a
be my
terrible
choice unless I made a terrible choice.
Well, it was 2 out of the 3 in my line. I got it 1, 2, and 3, and that your choice of 1 was actually 2. So we're going with 1. Number 1, where do we start? We start with Cam Coleman. Cam Coleman went viral today. They put him in front of press conference and cameras out there in Austin, Texas, and was asked about a lot of things. I think he went viral for 2 comments today. Kirby, correct me if I'm wrong. One was him alluding to his joy about being able to run routes.
Yes.
Right? That was one quote. And then the other quote was basically it was not hard to leave the state of Alabama. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. So here's what I want to address. The first comment. Okay. He told folks, or it was asked basically like, what are you most excited about this offense playing here? Something along those lines. He mentioned being actually able to run routes. I don't believe he said actually, but being able to run routes. And when you say that about, hey, this is year 3 in college, what do you mean you're just now getting to run routes? That would allude that at the previous place you did not get to run the tree. He's right. He's right. He didn't really get to run the tree at Auburn. He kind of got to run in a straight line and catch balls off of his back shoulder with the occasional slant on 3rd and 4th. That was basically the extent of his workload at Auburn. He is not wrong. That being said, just because you are truthful and just because you speak in fact does not mean what you say is not going to be sensationalized in today's climate. All right? And that's what he fell victim to on the first one. And that's not his fault, all right? That's not his fault at all. What I would say moving forward if I were his agent is that, hey, moving forward, like any agent, any client I had at all, if I were an agent, I would say, hey, guys, any comment they ask you about, hey, what's different about this place, last place, nothing. Everything should always be positive about this place, no comment about last place, move forward. That should be it, because no matter what you say, even if you say it like this today, which was truthful, it's going to get sensationalized, which is what happened to him today. And again, I don't think they care. I don't think he cares. Now, this next one, I think was social media people outside of the beat not really paying attention to the question that was asked, only taking the soundbite and using it as a ha, look at Auburn moment, all right? Which was the comment about it wasn't hard at all to leave. But if you really pay attention, if you go listen to the press conference today, the question was not, how hard was it to leave Auburn? The question was, how hard was it for you to leave the state of Alabama? This is a kid who went to high school in Phoenix City, went to Auburn. That's like 20 minutes from his height, where he grew up. This was a question of how hard was it to leave home, not a question of how hard was it to leave Auburn. It got clipped and put out on social media as it was pretty damn easy to leave Auburn. And that was kind of, I didn't like that. But again, this the overarching sentiment for me as somebody speaking to young athletes is like, no comment. Even if you look like like you're being a butthole, it's a no comment about the previous place. Period, point blank, move forward.
Yeah, and I don't think he ever explicitly came out and said like, oh, we never were able to do this at Auburn, or it was so bad. But I think it was more dropping kind of subtle things that could be taken. Is that like the question for the route tree was like, what's something you haven't been able to showcase yet that you're excited to showcase here at Texas? And he goes, running routes. Like that kind of implies that we didn't do that at Auburn, which is right.
He's right. And just because you're truthful and factual does not mean you will not be clipped as sensational. You know what I mean? And that's what happened to him today. And I say it like he's a victim. He's not. I don't think it's this big of a deal, even though it got kind of made this big of a deal today, it felt like on social.
Yeah, I mean, if you just read the press conference off of Twitter, like things that were put out on Twitter, you would have thought that this was just 30 minutes or 20 minutes of Cam Coleman bashing Auburn and airing it out about his time there, when in reality, it's really not exactly what that was.
And I do think there is something to be said about how easy it is and how enjoyable it is and how honestly safe of a take it is to do anything to show how horrible the things were under Hugh Freeze. Like, I don't see anyone being like, let's ease up on the Hugh Freeze slander here. Like, he's deserving of all of it, kind of.
You know what? I might go, what's the opposite of heel turn? I might turn face.
Turn face.
On the Hugh Freeze sentiments. Go start protecting my boy.
By the way.
Protecting the homie Hugh.
I'm glad you brought up Hugh Freeze.
Oh, really?
Because this video came across my feed the other day of which SEC coach has the best golf swing, and it's got Kirby, it's got all the coaches, and it has Hugh Freeze on here. For Hugh Freeze to be playing as much golf as he allegedly did, he has the worst golf swing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Who's a stick?
He's working on it.
I'd say of the mix that I saw, Kirby probably has the best swing. And so, like,
It's pretty.
I think bottom line is coaches don't usually have good swings, which is probably a good thing. Means you're not on the golf course a whole lot. But
how about Eli Drinkowitz?
Wasn't in the video.
Okay.
But Hugh Freeze having that golf swing, playing as much as he does, horrible. Should not be allowed.
You were just itching for me to lob Hugh Freeze into the discussion.
I needed to talk about it. I needed somebody, a platform to deliver this.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. I wish I had the video to show you this because it was disgusting.
Just take it easy on my man Hugh, please.
Oh, my bad.
Okay.
Oh, he's already done it. He's already turned.
Jeez.
Be careful. That's all I'm going to say.
Yes, sir.
He'll be back. He'll be back somewhere soon.
Nah, I think he's done.
Well, speaking of fire football coaches, what do y'all think of Brian Kelly's recent television stints?
I haven't listened to anything.
You know, I haven't actually tuned into. I saw.
Yeah, he's joined the panel over at CBS Sports.
I honestly, I think he's a great guy to do it. Like, he says enough things that are kind of like, oh, that was a little interesting. That it's enough to, like, he was doing this all the time on Feinbaum at LSU earlier.
I didn't know if we were going to be likable enough to get hired.
I don't think he is.
Yeah?
I think that's like
the thing.
I think that's kind of his. I think he does not care that people don't like him, and I think that if you can say things to generate, people tuning in and be like, "Can you believe Brian Kelly said this?" He'll do it.
He took a stab at Shadur out of nowhere.
Oh boy,
what? Yeah, he was talking about Garrett Nussmeier, and he's like, "This isn't a guy who's going to avoid contact. He's not Shadur Sanders." And I'm like, "Whoa!" Out of nowhere.
Brian Kelly is prone to throw players under the bus.
Yep, that'll do it. All right, you got two options, Jonathan. A new rule on the way, or do you want to talk $100 million?
He told you what number 2 was.
I did my homework. I remembered. New rule.
Okay, we'll give you what you want,
go.
Jonathan. We'll give you what you want. A new rule has been proposed, and they want it enacted ASAP. They want it enacted in the 2026-27 calendar year. And the new rule is you got 5 to play 5. You get 5 years to play 5 years worth of your sport, starting at either your graduation date or your 19th birthday. So I'm looking at you super seniors nowadays. I was wondering if people were going to try to finagle this 5 to play 5. Oh, well, I'm going to enter college when I'm 21 years old. No, you're not.
No.
19-year-olds. Starts then. You got 5 to play 5. There's a holdup on this, though, on the grandfathering. And they don't know what to do with guys who just finished 4 and 4. And, hey, do I get the 5th now? Or is this hard cut off, tough, move on?
I think you have. I don't think you can do the grandfathering rule, in my opinion. I think you just gotta. When you start it, it's players that have now entering college, this recruiting class and beyond. Now they get to be the 5 for 5 players.
Yeah, I mean, how do you think Nolan Smith feels to find out that edge rushers nowadays are getting $1.6 million to sign?
Right.
It just is what it is. You don't get back pay. It's not how this works. You don't get backdated with eligibility. I'm kind of with you on this.
And I mean, they didn't do this now. Completely different circumstances, but they didn't do that during COVID, where it was like, all right, hey, this year doesn't count. No one from 2019 to graduate was trying to come back.
I don't think a single solitary soul in leadership across the board in college athletics made a single solitary tough decision during that 3-year span.
Yeah.
I think they just said yes to everything. Oh, my God, please don't sue us. That's what the whole sentiment was from the organization running college sports, in my opinion, during COVID to, I'd say, about 2023.
Yeah.
And then they were like, hey, Congress, will you help us? And that's where we've been the last 3 years.
Yeah. I mean, for as much of I think this is probably the right direction for things to get rid of the egregious, I'm trying to get my 7th, 8th year of college football. I don't think it's going to solve a ton of the issues. Like, for as annoying as the 8th year player was, I think the much bigger issue here is tampering. And this doesn't really necessarily address that at all.
But I would say that there something needed to be done about one of the two things between tampering or how long players are playing college football. Just addressing one of them and proceeding with this it's a good
Jonathan,
start.
do you have an example of an infinite money glitch for the audience? I know I'm throwing this on you. Do you have an example of an infinite money glitch?
betting on the Mets to lose right now.
Okay, how about the days where you actually took a dollar into the vending machine and you taped it to your finger and you put it in there, made it register, and come back out? Infinite snacks glitch.
Yeah.
I got an infinite eligibility glitch.
Oh, yeah.
You ready?
Let's hear it.
BYU and Utah have an infinite eligibility glitch in the form of Mormonism.
Yes.
Okay, because in this 5-to-play-5 rule, they give you ordinances for sabbaticals. Meaning, if I take 2 years off to go take a sabbatical, I can come to college at 21 years old and then start my clock. I can play till I'm 26. Infinite eligibility glitch.
Well, isn't it if it's after 19 that's still a part of your clock?
Nope. This is they wrote it in the rule that religious ceremonies or whatever, if you need to take a year sabbatical, you can do this. It doesn't count.
Yeah, it was
It's like a gap year.
That example, and then there's also any people that are in the military, like that would also not count as well. But yeah, no red shirts, no medical red shirts either. It is straight up 5
But we
for
could take a
5.
sabbatical shirt.
But you can't take a mission trip.
We'll call it a sabbatical shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like, they're not technically on the roster while they're doing that, are they?
No, but they're over, working out 2 hours a day and then doing missionary work.
I don't mind that. I don't care about that. It's more dude, you've been playing for 7 years now. Hang it up.
Yeah, no, I'm
like if you've been like, hey, you played 2 years, then you went on a 2-year sabbatical, now you're back.
I do feel some type of way about no medicals though, because there are guys like the 5-to-play-5 is hard for me to swallow because you play 4 in my entirety of college athletics. You get 4 years. That's what you get.
Correct.
So this idea of wrapping a 5th year around it is weird for me. But I guess that's the trade-off for not getting the bonus year of a medical.
So does this completely nullify the
9-game redshirt rule? Yeah, if we have no red shirts, there's no need for the 9-game redshirt rule. But the 9-game redshirt rule is already passed.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe, looking at it now, maybe that was a caveat for grandfathering because they got guys playing now that are going to want this 5th year whenever it comes out. You see what I'm saying? And I gave you 9 free ones as a red shirt anyway, so don't call me for 3 games, basically.
Yeah. What are they going to call this? Are you just going to be a 5th year? Like, is there going to be a name?
Yeah, that's a great question. Are you a double senior?
Yeah, like what is this? Like we've heard the 5th year senior, but that's always come with the implication that it's a red shirt year.
Freshman, 5th year.
But if there's no red shirt anymore, there's no like
super senior.
Like
yeah, just call it a super senior now.
There's got to be a name for because there's freshman, sophomore,
it's a
junior,
tremendous
senior.
question.
Or are they just assuming if you're going into your 5th year, a graduate, you're a graduate
You
at this point.
Come on, dude.
Well, we know some examples of players that did not graduate.
I found that soundbite today to be funny that
Yeah.
he corrected the fact that he had not graduated.
Yeah. They also we'll address that.
We'll address
in the
that
local hour, but there's
that-
some interesting things to come from that.
They're 2 interesting cats.
Yeah, that's fair.
They probably got to scratching at one another.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, man, this 5-to-play-5 thing is very, very interesting. I think the sabbatical hack is you need to pay attention to it. Coming in at 21 as opposed to coming in at 19 is totally different.
Definitely.
Also want to know what the 5th year is called because we've been calling them super seniors, redshirt seniors, redshirt freshmen, redshirt sophomores. What are they now? All right, Jonathan, you got one option left. What do you want?
$100 million rosters.
That's right. The homie Josh Pate quote tweeted Front Office Sports' interview with Courtney Morgan, Alabama's general manager, who said he knows there are several $40+ million rosters out there in college sports. Now, the reason we're talking about it tonight is because Pate quote tweeted that and said he's, quote, have heard a few $60 million estimates for 2026, with multiple GMs telling me the first $100 million roster is imminent within the current system. I'll go to you boys for thoughts first.
Boy, just so to put this into perspective in my mind, when you think about what a $40 million roster might look like in today's world of college football, you would point at a school maybe like Texas, or you'd point at a school like Texas Tech, or one of those programs. Adding $60 million more to that, my question is, do you think that the depth on the team would just get better, or do you just think that these players would be paid that much more?
Oh, it's the second
Both.
option.
Both.
Because
they backups nowadays, backups leave because they want playing time, but really playing time is an avenue to wealth.
Right.
And if you're telling me I'm just going to get more to play for you anyways, I'll just go play for you.
So you think quarterbacks might start making $50 million?
Dude, $50 million?
15.
Oh, 15? I mean, here's my take about this. Like we started giving players money like 2022 really was when the first roster started costing money. And Ryan Day was like, I need like 12 to $15 million.
Oh, I remember that.
That was 4 years ago. It's 45 now. So what's that, 3X?
Yeah.
So if it 3X's again in 4 years, we're well over 100 million at that point. So there has been a level of escalation that because people can't help themselves. And this is why salary caps were invented in sports in the first place. Because rich people cannot help themselves. When they get a little taste of it and they're like, oh, well, we've already put $50 million in it. All it's going to cost now is 60. Okay, well, next year, all it's going to cost is 75. And then it's just going to keep going. But I think it is very, very important to note that if it does go to that rate, there's only like 8 to 10 teams that could ever even get to that.
That's what I was going to say is like.
The overwhelming majority of college football isn't even at $30 million able to do that, right? When we're talking, I don't want to call names out, but when we're talking about the Wake Forests of the world, the Purdues of the world, the Dukes of the world, the like 45 on down to 128, brother. Those rosters cost like $15 to $8 million on down there. And then we're talking about guys that, like, I haven't heard anything relatively close to $60 million in this calendar year.
Yeah.
That more so, I understand hey, if y'all don't put a cap on this, these rich folks are eventually going to push themselves up north towards $100 million if y'all don't stop this. I get that type of feeling and that type of sentiment, and I agree 100% with Pate in that sentiment and that thought process. But the idea that $60 million is being spent this year is crazy to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's obvious we're in some form of a bubble as far as player talent goes. Like the inflation is just going to keep continuing, which is creating the backlog.
How do you put the cap back in the bag? All right, how do you wrangle this back? Why would players ever collectively bargain with you? If you're telling me that you want to get us to collectively bargain so you can put a salary cap on us and regulate this, why would I ever do that?
Oh, I mean,
you dum-dums just keep wanting to pay me more.
Yeah, the players are not going to be.
Why would I agree? Because that's how that has to happen. We can't just put salary caps on stuff without having a collectively bargained employment pool that we've established the salary cap with. Y'all see what I'm saying?
Oh no, I get
That's
it.
what the CBA is for, to establish how we actually split rev shares. So
I mean, the answer is the current model has to change. Like the NCAA cannot exist if this is going to be what the future is, because there has to be a super league that a set number of teams agree upon, that these rules will be enforced, that if you do go over the salary cap, if something does happen, you lose recruits, you lose certain amounts of things like you would see in the NFL. Like, we're basically continuing to hurdle towards college football is going to look more and more like the NFL, where there's a 45 or 50 team league as opposed to 32.
Well, I would also say that I think coincidentally, if we continue to climb up with how much teams are spending and they're willing to spend, I think that you're going to revert back to how college football was, because I think one thing that everybody would agree on right now with this sport is there's a lot more parity. Rosters are a lot more balanced because good players are ending up everywhere, and so there's a lot tighter games. There's closer games. The playoff field is a lot wider. Well, when you start getting into $60 million and $70 million and you're talking about there's like 8 teams that could spend that, well, then you're reverting back to how it was, to where you have the kings of the sport, the teams that are willing to spend that money, and then you got everybody else, and they're just trying to catch up with the people ahead of them, but they never will. And so really you're dwindling the field back down to 8 teams.
Like, I think Courtney Morgan is brilliant, but the idea that you can just establish a wage cap on freshmen, like one of the things he mentioned was, I wish we could set a limit on how much a freshman makes when he comes into college. He said, if you come into college making $1 million, where do you go from there? The answer is upwards, Mr. Morgan. That's the answer. And if the answer in any type of American business sense is, I am worth what you are willing to pay me. So talk to your colleagues, bud. Like, to all you coaches that are complaining, if anyone's complaining about these dollar values going up, talk amongst yourselves about controlling yourselves, because you're the ones giving out the money. You're the ones effing up the market. I talk to content creators about this all the time in the inverse. You know what kills our industry? People who say, oh, I'll do what he does for free. Yeah. Stop saying that. Stop saying that. Stop saying you'll do this for free. Because when you do it, undercuts me. It undercuts him. It undercuts you. Stop doing that. Same thing with this. Coaches, if y'all want the money to come down, talk to your colleagues, bud. Because start controlling yourselves. Because if y'all just keep throwing money at these guys, they will never collectively bargain, in my mind. They would never. There's no sense. There's no benefit for players to be like, oh, y'all want to control the system? No, thank you. I like the way it is right now. Well, y'all can't control yourselves.
Yeah, I was about to say, I mean, that went out the door the moment the players got all the leverage. And the players have all the leverage at this very moment.
Right. Can we also just acknowledge the fact that closing the transfer portal or making heavy altercations to that would probably add a massive amount of deterrence from this happening? The $60 and $70 million roster comes when you call up another team and say, hey, we'll pay you more than your current team's paying you. Yeah. And then they hop in the portal. Like, I can't fathom a bunch of boosters and billionaires dishing out hundreds of millions of dollars just for high school prospects.
It happens.
I mean, they certainly get paid well, but I don't think that you don't see the $12 million or the $5 million high school prospect. That goes to the starting quarterback that's viewed as elite. Like, I don't think you're going to see that. If you do something to the portal where it's not as easy to jump in, like we see this all the time. Like, there was literally multiple examples of players leaving for one team and then being called up by another team, getting a bigger offer and jumping to a third team. Like, Luke Farrelly is a perfect example of this.
Yeah.
If you change the transfer portal, you're going to lower the incentive to buy out these players and drive up the cost.
Yeah.
Like, I don't find it coincidental that the fact that these rosters and everything have exploded perfectly aligns with how much the transfer portal is being used.
Yeah. I do think there needs to be some type of, like, you get one free pass.
Yes.
After the second one, we got to sit.
Yes.
Sure.
I think that should happen. Like,
I agree.
I play at 4 spots over 5 years stuff. That's got to go.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And I do, because especially that type of player, Bear Alexander's like the only one of these that I think is going to play for like 10 years in the league and make $100 million because he's that damn talented. Mm-hmm. But most of these guys that go 4 schools over 4 years, they're doing so because people are paying them a lot of money. It's the most money that they're ever going to make. But here's the problem. How do you get a degree when you do that? Like, how do your transfer or your credits transfer? The answer is that they don't. So we probably end up exhausting our eligibility and then just being done. Because I'm not going to go back myself and pay for school. You know what I mean? I got to save this money. This is all the money I'm ever going to I'm going to make at this rate. So that I do, and I do respect coaches when they express that concern about young people.
Yeah.
Is that if we keep bopping around schools, we're never going to graduate. And then what was this all for? $300,000 in cash? I'm sorry to tell you this, but you're going to need a whole hell of a lot more than that the rest of your life.
For sure.
So there's a lot going on there. The $100 million roster thing is crazy though. But again, if you don't put some type of restrictions on them, they're going to do it.
Oh yeah,
they're going to do it.
Oh, for sure.
Because I don't think I didn't realize just how much wealth there was in this country. I know that sounds stupid, but I didn't realize how much. Oh, you need $10 million? Oh, you need $10 million over the next 5 years annually? I didn't realize it just because I'm a Longhorns fan. Make sure I get a nice spot on the sideline.
Maybe my name on a stadium.
Yeah, put my name on the building. That'd be cool. Maybe. That'd be cool. Hey, I own a company. I use a lot of chicken nuggets. You want to put my logo on the 50? Like I didn't know it was, again, ignorance on my behalf.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was like that. Even though back in 2020 I did tell you, just track the Fortune 500 companies that got ties to college football and you'll figure something out pretty quick.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened. A lot of spring games this weekend, boys.
Yes, there are.
Lots of spring games.
A lot of spring games, but not a lot of ones that you're going to be able to watch.
Yeah, I took a stand on that. I think that's horse crap, to be honest with you. First and foremost, you football coaches that y'all should know that you're going out there and showing nothing anyways. And you got a bunch of tomato cans, most of you, to start your season anyways. So we're going to get film on you before we play you, right? If I'm getting prepared to play, who's one of these is off TV? If I'm getting prepared to play Miami, right? Who do they play week 1? Some Bethune-Cookman?
Probably.
All right. So we got tape on you. I kind of know what you do. Also, it doesn't matter if you're going to go out there and run nothing anyways. You're going
Stanford.
You're going to go out there and run base install. You're going to go out there and run day one stuff. So there's no spring portal window. This only hurts the exposure to your program, in my opinion. And some of you guys are at programs where you don't think exposure matters. You don't need it. And that's fine. But I think it is it's sad. I think it's sad that we got guys that are just like, nope, I don't want nothing out. I don't want to show anybody what we got going on. Sorry, the 18,000 fans that can come see us. I know we have 1.5 million fans that were trying to get engaged with our program, but the 18,000 that show up on Saturday, they get to see what we do. Everybody else can piss off. That bothers me as a person who loves college football.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly sucks from the fan standpoint. I will say, though, growing up and watching college football, I was never like, ooh,
you weren't glued to spring games?
The Alabama spring games on. I got to watch. You watch the Georgia one because you care about Georgia, but
I'm surprised you work for a guy like me.
Why's
I'm
that?
just kidding. Because we're sickos, baby.
Oh, I mean, yeah. Yes.
If the ball is spotted, your boy is watching.
Yes, but as a fan, it's our job to do that, and yes, we do that. As a fan, I don't think you would probably do that. As a fan, the majority of the American public, I would say, is probably not like, let me watch the start to finish of this spring game. I will also say, I do think coaches, when they can absolutely knock out the elimination or have to contend with TV schedules and commercial breaks and all those things, it's an added stressor for them, I'm sure, that they probably like, we don't need to do this. Tell them to come in. It drives up the incentive for fans to show up, which that hasn't necessarily proven true.
No.
I think that's, like, honestly, like, it's one less headache for a college football coach to just run their own practice.
I don't know. I mean, I certainly feel for the fan bases
Yeah.
that you don't get to watch your team at least one time until next season. Like, I remember when everybody was doing this last year, I mean, there was a lot of uproars in every fan base of, I can't watch my team this year because I don't live in the States, so I can't even go to the spring game. That's not even an option for me or things like that. So I certainly feel for those fans. Like, from a national perspective, I understand, like, most people probably not watching other spring games, but I do think it sucks for the fan bases that their teams aren't allowing them to watch the game unless they go to the stadium.
And all you guys are drumming up NIL money, so worst case scenario, you should have put it on your Hogs Plus or your
why isn't this being
Tigers Plus?
Because
Keith Marshall wrote a great article the other day about how college football administrators are not business-oriented minds. They are people who have worked in college administration for years, so they understand the legalese behind everything. They understand the political aspect of the machine that is college athletics. But that is not the business that we're in anymore. We are in a business. We are in a drum-up revenue at like a sport. That's what we're doing right now. We're all trying to make more money. And I think that's why. There's just nobody in those buildings that says, hey, instead of, giving it away to ESPN or shutting ESPN down, what if we charge $10 per access fee for everybody who comes in, and next thing you know, we've made $100,000.
Yeah, pay-per-view.
We got the equipment to do it.
Yeah.
It don't cost that much. But no, I don't think there's a lot of people in those buildings, Jonathan, that their brains work like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But yeah, pay-per-view option, I mean, that's a great idea. Pay $10 to watch the spring game.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like all of them have NIL companies. All of them have Glory. All of them have Tigers Plus or whatever, Vaught Hemingway Society. They all have these NIL companies that they're asking fans to give monthly fees to. That's what you should be doing in your spring game if you're so anti-television. At least make your ops pay $10 to get it.
No, I agree.
Thank you. You just funded my recruiting.
Right.
You get to watch us the 12 minutes we gave you on this stream or
On
whatever.
plays we've been running for the last 5 seasons.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, I think it's certainly a missed opportunity for a lot of these schools, but like you said, no one's been really aligned to do this. It feels like basically every collective has kind of just felt like a jumbled group of ideas thrown together. Like, let's see if this makes money. Like, that's not any shade to anyone. That's kind of the entire there's not necessarily one collective. I think we.
I think all of them were set up as money in, money out operations.
Sure,
pass the buck, pass the hat, get as much money in here as we can every month, give it out to the players, boom, start it over the next month.
Definitely.
That's what they were created as. They were offering plates.
Mm-hmm.
They were not businesses
Yeah.
that create revenue.
And now they have to be businesses, and they're not necessarily set up for success to do that. That's not through their fault of their own, but I mean, it's certainly not the best way to bring in revenue.
It kind of is. They should have had more foresight than all of us, and we've been talking about like this being the future of revenue sports, having to actually create revenue and not just be wasters paying for the Olympic sports for a while. Anyways, spring previews. Texas is actually putting theirs on Texas Network.
Yeah.
So you can go on there, and I don't think they charge for that. I watched Cam Coleman's interviews over there today.
Okay.
So I think that might be a public stream you can get over there on the On Texas Network. So yeah, here's what I'm hoping to see if we do indeed get footage. I just want to see some consistent mechanics out of Arch. The idea that we found out in February that he had foot surgery to me was like, oh, that makes a lot more sense. I'm hoping that we return to the mechanical enjoyment, if you will, that we saw as a true freshman. That film study, that's why I was so high on him. It looked really, really clean mechanically as a true freshman. And then come to find out, we hurt our foot against Texas A&M our freshman year. And then we spent all year last year with a bum foot.
Yep.
That changes how we throw the football. I would be very, very interested to see how he looks throwing the ball now.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see what this Texas defense looks like under Will Muschamp. I mean,
that too.
Seeing him in a defensive coordinator role where he is
shout out Boom,
where he is being Will Muschamp, like his time at Georgia. I know that the 22 season and some of 2023 he was the DC, but it was alongside Glenn Schumann. Having him be the head honcho on a defense, you haven't seen that in a while, so I'm excited to see that. And I just want to see what that Texas defense looks like. They did not play up to their standard last year. While they weren't bad, I think there were definitely moments where could have been a lot better, and they got themselves in some situations.
I think plain and simple, and I know this is a spring game, so it doesn't sound proper to maybe put this type of assertion on this, but I think it should really just be your transfer portal targets better hit. I think they need to ball out. I think they need to look good. And that can be as simple as Cam Coleman has 2 catches for 60 yards and then those 2 plays. Or like, the Biles kid on defense, he makes a couple of plays. Hollywood Smothers looks good. And I know that you don't run the ball a whole lot in spring games typically, but I think that's the bigger thing because while the roster was already talented, that's really what you're banking on to make sure that you elevate this to a national title contender.
This might be one of those spring practices where I'm okay with y'all thudding up the whole time because God forbid y'all get hurt.
Yeah.
Like no open field missed tackle will hurt worse in a spring game than Cam Coleman going down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like and I know every time I say this, Texas fans are like, you don't know shit about our recruiting. Really, really talented young kids, but all the young kids need to play. They haven't played football.
And I believe they are just doing a practice. It's not really a scrimmage.
Good.
So
they're smart.
Yeah.
They know what they're doing.
I don't think it's going to be thudding for an hour and a half or anything like that.
Yeah. Not tackling to the ground for 4 quarters?
Four
No, I
quarters
don't think
of
so.
football.
Do you know Keith Niebor covers the Florida Gators down there with On3? I did an interview with him last night. He said they took 170 snaps
Oh, my God.
at Florida. 170.
Full contact?
Yes.
Wow.
Jeez, man. They were spotting the ball and going, huh?
You damn right.
Jeez.
I'm here for it.
Yeah.
I'm here for it. I see you're going to find out about this. I hope this is what we hear from Auburn. I hope Auburn's practices is, my God, it's never been that fast and physical around here. It's been so long since they've been practicing that hard. What is that? That is new. I hope that is the vibe. It ought to be the vibe. It felt like that was the vibe when Kirby took over Georgia. Am I wrong?
Oh, yeah,
It's like, holy shit, this is a new animal. What is this? This guy's crazy. That's the way it kind of ought to feel. And the football team ought to feel that way, too, when you play them. Ought to feel like, damn, these guys are pissed all the time. What is this? So, any other thoughts on Texas?
No, I think that it's pretty simple what you're looking for there.
I want to see some Diabell.
Yep.
And was it Lacey?
Yes.
Lacey. I want to see what they see in that. Not saying I didn't love him coming out of high school, but I didn't love him coming out of high school. Not Steve Sarkisian dude. You know what I mean? I feel like if Steve Sarkisian signs you, he must know something I don't know.
Right.
But I got it in Arch. I understand it in Quinn. I understand it in Diabell. I'm trying to figure out this Lacey thing.
Yeah.
And hopefully I can see something this weekend. Shout out to the Texas A&M Aggies for putting theirs on ESPN Plus as well this weekend, I think, right? They'll be streaming. Is what you told me pre-show.
They play at noon.
Aaron Gregory's been absolutely crushing during spring practice. I want to see some of that. But more importantly, I want to see what that box looks like, Jonathan.
Yes, that's what I put.
I want to see what that box looks like. They lost a lot of football players in that box. I'm trying to see what that box look like.
Yeah, I had the front seven of the defense. What is that looking like going into this season? And then just Isaiah Horton buzz. I know you talked about Aaron Gregory, a lot of good stuff around him. Yeah. But Horton was a big steal from them to get him from Alabama over there and at a position that they needed.
Don't forget Wilkin.
Who's that?
Wilkin Forsby.
Oh.
Don't you dare.
I was just saying.
Always smiling Wilkin.
A position of need. Isaiah Horton fills that bigger body receiver. I know they had Derek Meadows. Is that who it is out there as well?
Well, that's Alabama. You're thinking of Jerome Miles. Those two guys. But Isaiah Horton, that would be the big one that you really need to see. Jerome Miles entering that 18 months post-op territory where we really start feeling like ourselves when we're a juicy freak like he was coming out of Utah high school football. I think he played at the same place the Dart Boys played.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Yeah. There's this like random pocket of Utah football that's like really, really good.
Interesting. I'm looking for it, and I think that spring scrimmages can bring the best out of players like this. I'm looking for Marcel Reed to stand in the pocket and be his most efficient. And
I wanted to put that should be a rule for him on Saturday.
Yeah.
No scramble.
Yeah. Do you have to play from the pocket?
Yes.
And like when the quarterback's not live and
we have to mush rush him? Because that's what everybody's going to do to y'all.
Correct.
Everybody's like, no one's going to get upfield. Nope. They're not going to give you alleys. They're not going to give you ways to get out of the pocket. You're going to have to sit right here. Speaking of Marcel, shout out to Marcy.
Yes.
Marcy in the chat, keeping the boys paid during the offseason, son. I'm going to put Marcy's name up on the board.
I think it's up there. I'm pretty sure she's up there.
Well, we got brand new white Sharpies, and these things pop on
white
these boards.
Sharpies, huh?
Yeah, man. So, Marcy's up on the board. Shout out to her. We appreciate that. What's that interior offensive defensive line look like from them bodies? That's an important thing for me. And did we tweak anything? Or are we saying it's still the same offense? We lost Klein, got a new OC, in-house promotion, though.
Yeah.
Second year with the starting quarterback, really second and a half. He started the back end of 2024.
Correct.
Him and Weigman split it.
Yep.
But all those decisions would indicate to me we're not going to change too much.
No, I don't think they're going to. I don't think you're going to see a completely different identity.
Does Mario Craver touch the ball once? I'm going to say no.
Probably doesn't need to.
Right? And we just gave him the highest paid contract in the history of wide receivers.
Yeah,
per their Twitter.
We know what that guy is. We don't need to.
Well, highest paid in their program history.
Yeah, I know. I'm just interesting why we felt the need to tweet. It's a new era of college football. It's an interesting tweet. We didn't get that one for the edge or the quarterback. We didn't find out that the quarterback's getting paid a bunch
Probably
of money.
some agent saying, hey, make sure you add this in here.
They got their next one. He's up on there on the board. He just committed today.
Oh.
The wide receiver out of Lee County. Let's move on. Auburn, they got their spring game this weekend. It will not be televised. Alex Golish keeping that one on the dark web. Hopefully we can get a Tiger out there to get us one of them end zone shots. That would be ideal.
See, this is a philosophy thing that I'm going to look at because obviously what Alex Golish brings for this offense is going to be drastically different than, frankly, anything Auburn has really seen in their time. So I'm going to be very interested to see how that's integrated, what that looks like, what Byron Brown looks like operating that system at Auburn. I know he was there last year with Golish at USF, but I do want to see what it looks like in an Auburn uniform.
It'll feel similar to the Malzahn thing from a pace standpoint.
Right.
But that's it. That is the extent of that. But it'll feel faster than Malzahn because Malzahn used to do a bunch of zip motion and a bunch of jet motion and a bunch of run across the formation stuff.
A lot of window dressing.
Yeah, like that doesn't happen in wide choice. We line up, snap the foosball. So very interested to see that. Just let me know that you're tackling and let me know that you're out here taking 10,000 reps. That's all I want to know. I want to know, like I said, that this is – I want the Auburn beat reporting base, which is one of the finest in the land. I want those guys to be on their Twitter machines talking about this is a different energy. These guys are crazy. When I watched that defense I rewatched them today because everybody but 15 was playing like their hair's on fire every single play. Yeah, I'm going to save that take for later when he's a first-round draft pick. I'm going to tell you this right now. If you ever take your foot out of the gas on play number 1 in the Iron Bowl, you ain't never I ain't just not going to say anything good about you. I'm sorry. I can't. It was gross. I threw the remote last night, Jonathan.
Fair.
Threw the remote. Couldn't
Fair.
do it.
Not only in the Iron Bowl, but your last Iron Bowl.
Last college game ever.
Yeah.
We run a TE stunt, and we end up slamming into the center, and we're 6'6", 275 pounds, and we just stop, and then Ty Simpson rips a dart right over our forehead. Do we get our hands up? Nope. Do we shut it off? Yep.
Unfortunate.
He's young though. He's 20. He's young. Got a lot of future left in front of him. He's young.
And not defending that, but at that point, if your money had been made in your career, you were checked out.
I don't really agree with that.
Kirby, you should have seen the rest of the defense.
I agree.
That defense at Auburn, I know DJ Durkin's got his things in his past, but if you watch Auburn Tiger defense, you will have a tremendous amount of respect for that coordinator.
No, for sure. I'm just saying
hard.
I can see a 20-year-old who probably already is a first-round pick on a team where the season's over and the coach is probably already fired.
But snap one?
No, yeah, it's not okay.
Against your biggest rival?
No, I'm not excusing it.
With another first-round draft pick in front of you?
Yeah.
It's kind of money tape, if anything.
Not excusing it. Not excusing it at all.
This is going to sound weird to say, going back to the Auburn spring game. Not really looking for much on the field. I think I kind of know what to expect just because I know what the offense is going to look like. I know what the defense already looks like under Durkin. I'm more intrigued to hear what is said from the coaches and players after the spring game. I want to hear all of that stuff. And I'm not talking about I want the buzz quotes and I want all of that stuff. But do we have people that know how to talk in front of a microphone? Do we have people that talk about this program the way it should be? Have we cleaned all of this up? Can we be presentable in front of the public now?
It was not that with you for a while.
No.
Also, is there going to be a moment where, bro, I was at USF last year. I had 6 people asking me questions all year long.
I'm sure it's a different field.
What is this? They've already had that, though. I'm sure they've already gotten that feel.
Right. The spring game itself
Auburn's got to
probably
be a top 15 beat in college football in terms of pull and how many people show up. And good Lord, who wouldn't want to live out there? Wow. So, yeah, I'm interested to see what's going on out there on the plains. Let's move up to Big Ten country with the Michigan Wolverines. I just want to know something other than Bryce Underwood.
Right.
And that's a me thing. Look, Michigan fans, listen to me right now. I just don't know enough about your roster. I know Jamie French is still out here trying to be a thing. Is that ever going to be something? Because Lord knows the industry loved that kid coming out of high school. Good God. But it hasn't really worked yet. So I'm interested to see. He did pop up in one of the cool behind-the-back clips I saw from Bryce Underwood. By the way, that was a sack. I don't know if y'all have seen that clip.
Oh, yeah.
That was a sack.
Oh, yeah.
People call it illegal forward pass because he's behind the line of scrimmage. Don't really care. Sack. And he got tagged off on pretty quickly right there on that play.
See, I'm the complete opposite of you. It's all about Bryce Underwood.
Really?
It's all about the development. It's all about how far of a step did we take this offseason.
Yeah.
It's all of that for me because, quite frankly, in my opinion, that's the ceiling of your team. That's where I place it at.
Last year, the only play we saw out of the spring scrimmage was a fake reverse pass from Underwood.
Yeah.
Y'all remember that?
That's what I was going to be one of my takes is I just want to see you run traditional plays this year. Don't try to do anything to hype the crowd up. Now, it's Kyle Whittingham's first year, Kyle Whittingham's first scrimmage as a coach there. Going to try to maybe do something necessarily to get the team excited, to get the fans rowdy, but just play football.
I think my biggest questions about Ohio State probably won't be answered in the spring. It's offensive line, the ability to run the football consistently. I don't envision Ohio State under Ryan Day to be this mean run the football team. In fact, I think I want them to be the opposite. I want them to be their identity, which is explosive passing. I want them to try to score 40 a game, throwing for 350 a game. That's what I want them to be. But in order to do that, sometimes we got to be able to run the ball for 150 yards or 125 yards a game. I don't even know if they can do that at will the last couple of years. But we're not going to find that out in the spring game. Also, general horsepower at the quarterback position. We're not going to find that out. Can you defy number one and actually be a threat with your legs or extend plays? They're going to blow them dead or give you fake extended plays this spring anyways. So I don't know much about that. But we will find out about the general replacements and the replenishments from all of those defensive bodies that are left. I love the McClain kid, the safety. Love Edric Houston. Like Edric Houston a lot. Love the Kenyatta Jackson kid a lot. What else is left? I got to find out. I'm sure it's world's richest. It's got to be a bunch of highly touted kids.
I think the Bo Atkinson kid returns, the transfer from
really
UNC
from
last
UNC.
Year. I'm pretty sure he's back.
14,
something like that.
Yeah.
I kind of piggybacking off of that. I just want to. How does the offensive and defensive line battle with one another? Because I think those are the two biggest positions that I'm looking at for them. And we've talked about Julian Sain a lot, talked about Jeremiah Smith a lot. I think that those two positions, I don't think the offensive line held up enough for them in big games last year. And defensively, like on the defensive line especially, just kind of seeing like playmakers there, difference makers there. Like, how are we adding up there?
Yeah, I want to see who's going to be this year's Robin if Jeremiah Smith is Superman or Batman, excuse me.
Yeah.
Because obviously last year it was Cardinal Tate. I feel like it would be Brandon Ennis this year taking that next step forward, but there's always been, I feel like, the guy at Ohio State, and then there's always been the other guy that gets a lot of reps and a lot of production because guy gets so much attention. So who is that going to be? You might see some inklings of that this game.
I would be careful about giving Tavion Sinclair way too much burn this weekend, Coach Day, because he really good. He's really, really good, and the last thing you want is maybe we should play this other guy because he's everything that Julian's saying is not, by the way. He's 6'4", 230, and built like a brick shithouse and can throw it a country mile. So that was a bona fide traits 5-star coming out of high school as opposed to – I thought Julian was a bona fide accuracy and decision 5-star coming out.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like Sands' job is safe.
That's what it is.
It's safe.
It's 100% safe. But just the kid, the
Don't let
St.
the cat
Clair,
out of the bag.
the St. Clair kid is special, like trait special.
You
And we
don't
know
wanna-
how that works with fans.
Yeah, you don't want a JF or JF situation.
Exactly. JF or JF, we don't want that going on. We don't want JF going elsewhere, okay? We kind of want JF staying here. We want both JFs as long as we can keep both JFs. Just for fun, speaking of JFing, let's go to the board. Kirby's top 5.
Did we talk about Miami?
Oh, Miami. How did I leave them off my notes?
I have one simple take from Miami.
Yeah.
Wrap the whole squad in bubble wrap. Do not care. Mensa,
Don't care?
bubble wrap.
Bubble
Tony,
wrap 'em?
bubble wrap.
Bubble wrap them?
Bacardi, or whatever his name is from Duke.
Yeah.
Bubble
Barcade,
wrap.
bubble wrap.
Yeah, that's who it is.
Mark
All of
Fletcher,
them.
bubble wrap.
Bubble wrap them all.
Everybody but Jackson Cantwell. Just have him go out there.
He gets to have some live action.
Have him go out there and get some
thump.
heat.
Everybody else.
Him and
no.
Lightfoot get to go at it for a little bit.
Yeah.
Damon Wilson, bubble wrap.
Bubble wrap.
Okay?
All of them.
All of them.
All of them.
The 17th year
afford it.
linebacker that's playing for us, number 1,
Yeah.
bubble wrap.
Oh, yeah. All of them. Brooks.
All of them?
All of them.
All of
Brooks.
them, Brooks.
I do kind of want to see what this defense is going to look like because they have lost so much and they have added so much. You're right.
Year 2 Featherman, baby.
Prioritize safety of your players and keeping injuries out of low is obviously the number one important thing. But seeing Darian Mensah go up against this Miami defense and what the Miami defense is going to look like in 2026 is interesting to me because let's be honest. Quarterback play was not the reason they had that impressive playoff run. Like the defense is going to be what drives this team, I feel like, and it's probably the case for this season as well. So
I just want to hear that Mensah was just out here looking like Cam Ward. You know what I mean? He's out here making plays. Out here running around, throwing it behind his ear, just doing crazy
Well, it won't
shit.
be televised, so you probably will hear that.
Yeah, we'll hear all kinds of stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He broke loose for 75.
Which one of these teams do you think is going to go the most viral this season?
Most propagandized?
Yeah.
My
Texas.
money's you got Texas.
Texas.
The beat will do it.
Yeah, Texas
Yeah.
for sure.
Cam Coleman's going to dunk on someone. It's going to be
One of these days when we're such a large platform that we don't care about anybody being upset with us, we should rank most annoying beats.
I know who's my number one.
I know who my number one is.
Y'all got
too.
locks for ones?
Oh, yeah.
I got like a toss-up, like
Hey,
6
look.
or 7 of them.
I hate using this phrase. I hate when everybody uses this phrase. It's not close, Brooks.
I got to hear this.
We have told you this story.
you know.
You got the whole rundown after the
You
game.
very much know.
Oh, yeah.
You got the whole rundown.
Yeah.
Like, usually you might get a guy in the press box room that's kind of like, all right, they probably heard enough of you, okay? You might need to pipe down a little bit. This was a whole scrum.
I will say, the fact that you and me were in that box together and were able to make jokes at the expense of the other beat reporters.
True.
Hey, too much info. There's always so many places where we're all allowed.
That's true. Don't expose us.
That's fair.
There's only so many places where we're all allowed.
I don't think you were there.
Attaboy.
I don't think you were.
All right.
I don't
Hell,
remember you
I don't
being
even know
there.
if I was there.
Well, you weren't.
Be honest with
You
you.
weren't.
I was going to tell a story about how much fun we had watching that game.
We have
but
good
you know
times
what?
when all three of us are there, but I don't think that was one of those
Shout out
times.
Mark Weiser. Let's go to Kirby's top 5.
All right. Make sure I got this mic on.
Brody already rolled cameras. I ain't even got to do no work. Are you rage baiting today, Kirby?
I'm never rage baiting. I don't
You're
know why
never
people
rage
insist
baiting.
I am. Last week when I
Dubious.
did 90s rock bands, people lambasted me. So let's go with something that's probably not as controversial at all. We've got
Chips.
It happened
Did it
again. I'm sorry.
Starting off with
Chips.
number 5, kettle cooked salt and vinegar chips. Now I know that people aren't necessarily. There's some people who absolutely hate salt and vinegar. I'm one who would say it's a very good flavor. I would also say that as a kid, I remember growing up and eating these. Like the first time I had them, I was like, "Oh, these are what men eat because they're harder." Did anyone else-
You got to be careful with kettle cooked roofie your mouth.
Oh, yeah. I was
Bro,
going to
if
say.
you catch one of these sideways, ooh,
That's
boy, you
why I
down
was-
for 2 to 3 weeks.
Well, that's why I remember being a kid, and like, oh, I have to eat these more carefully. I'm a man now. So I have to
Cuidado,
be
Papa.
careful.
And I was going to say, these specifically, for whatever reason, the salt and vinegar versions will tear your mouth up.
Oh,
Absolutely.
if you get a couple in, you're like, I'm starting to get like numb. My mouth
Yes.
is raw here.
Also, like, not to be opened in a car ride. You know what I mean? Kind of.
Yeah, the fumes.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
fumes. It's very similar to beef jerky, but just kind of the opposite. It's like
Yeah.
salty.
Like you get a good enough whiff, you're like, oh, my eyes are watering.
Exactly.
Yeah, I didn't even consider that. You're right.
Exactly.
All right, number 4, we have
Not fat enough to consider all food.
Harvest Cheddar Sun Chips.
Oh, harvest
Now,
cheddar.
now I debated putting garden salsa here, but
I do love garden
At the end
salsa.
of the day,
Garden salsa hits.
you know what it is, honestly? I think it's the ridges in Sun Chips.
Have you had
Yeah.
the purple bag? The
Yeah,
chili lime.
The chili lime's good, but
The chili lime.
Chili
Fire.
lime.
By the
you
way-
know what? Also, what I love most about harvest cheddar, or sun chips rather, I think they were the first ones to let everybody know they were whole grain.
Yeah.
oh
It's
yeah,
like,
like,
we're the safer chip.
yeah, I remember
We're,
like being
we're
like,
more
oh,
healthy for you.
oh, I
So if
can
I
eat-
body a bag of these, I don't feel that bad.
yeah, no, this is good for me.
Yeah.
These are
Yeah.
good for me. I remember
Yeah.
looking at like it's
Yeah.
got the sun in it. Like, also I should note that if you're waiting for barbecue or sour cream and onion to be on this list, you're not gonna enjoy
Not your
it.
guy.
Not a barbecue guy. I respect those.
I will say this, like with the variety pack that comes with Lay's, I am like, you know, ballpark, you know, after
right.
the game,
Yeah,
Team
yeah,
Mom
yeah.
only brought so many. I'm going straight barbecue with the Lay's variety pack.
fair.
Going straight barbecue. Second choice, probably sour cream and onion. I'm not going original and miss me with the salt and vinegar on a hot sunny day.
I've come around on original Lay's because I've started putting hot sauce on them.
Not an option at the ballpark.
Oh, you don't think, keep
You
the
shake
thing
the
strapped
bag
on
with
you?
it? Like, would you put the hot sauce in it and shake the
Yeah,
bag?
you put it in the bag, shake it up. Great consistency with
Yeah, I
it.
know where you're from.
Yeah, I also want to note that
That's where you got that, brother. I already know that.
100%.
I already know that.
100%.
Yep.
Put a
Go
little
ahead.
heat on
I
it.
also want to note that
yeah. You didn't have to hit the nail on the head, but go ahead.
this is chips only, by the way. So like Cheetos are not going to be on here, Takis, like anything like this is chips.
Okay,
specifically chips.
okay.
Number 3 and number 2 might be controversial. I want to have a discussion about this though. So number
Okay.
3 we have Doritos Cool Ranch.
Okay.
Great. Go ahead and go to number 2, Jay.
As my son would call those blue chips.
Yep.
That's fair as well. Like the
And then
Gatorade.
red chips.
All right,
Yep,
so here's
yep.
the thing. Can we acknowledge that Doritos, Nacho Cheese, and Cool Ranch are kind of needed to be assessed as one? I think they're equally great.
Well, no, I would argue that for obvious reasons, the nacho cheese Dorito is far more versatile. Can be made into nachos. Can be put onto all kinds of different stuff.
I do think, though.
And also, like the Doritos Locos Taco is far superior with nacho cheese as opposed to Cool Ranch.
See, I view these two chips as like twin brothers, where it's like they're under the same family.
Yeah, but Cain is superior to Abel.
Sure. I mean, I like them both. I think they're.
Wait, which one killed one? Which one killed the other? Oh, I gotta make sure I'm right on this one.
I like them both. I wanted to put them as like side by sides, like nacho cheese and Cool Ranch, but I knew that would have pissed some people
We
off.
got a ball knower in the chat. Buffalo Jacked, which with it not being on the top 5.
We were waiting on it.
I know it's on the top 5 because they don't make it anymore. Yep. And Doritos, by God, if you are listening, please bring them back. I will buy 20 of them today.
I gotta
take
be honest.
all my money.
So what they've done, Jonathan, is now they have this hybrid Buffalo Ranch.
I know, and it don't hit the same, man.
It does not hit the same. You know what they did do though? They replaced it with the purple bag Dorito.
Purple bag
Dorito slaps.
Yeah,
go ahead.
The spicy chili one. Is it?
You got it.
Yeah,
you got it.
Sweet chili.
Minor league ball nowhere over here.
Yeah, all right. Before we get to number 1, we always do our honorable mentions. Honorable mention number 1, Tostitos Scoops. Now, the flavor alone, not the greatest. I think they're a fine flavor.
Is this a I like chili take? Is this what you're going with
I
here?
think the fact that these chips, for what they serve, they are the most versatile on this list. If you can use, they're perfect for dipping. You can make nachos
You're a
out
bean
of
dip
it.
guy.
More like a Chipotle chili or anything like that.
Okay.
But I think the fact that these hold a special place because there's nothing like them. I don't know anywhere else that's doing the scoop chips like
If
this.
I'm going Tostitos, I'm going barbecue curly twists or whatever those are. Those are bang.
That's also Frito-Lay, I'm pretty sure.
That's not Tostitos?
That's Frito-Lay.
Correct.
Which I was going to say, I prefer a Frito scoop over Tostito scoops.
The Frito scoops are good. I feel like they're a little small though. Like if they made those bigger.
I went totally different. You're talking about actual chip chips, like restaurant chips, scoops. I was thinking Fritos scoops. I'm an idiot.
No, like the Tostitos ones.
Yeah,
I feel like those
I got you.
Perfect, the best.
Are you popping those without dip? Are you just popping Tostitos
Boy,
scoops?
you want to
without
know with the
dip?
cupboard dry when played tortilla chips like
Well, you
this
go
is about to
straight
bang,
scoops
bro.
to the mouth, bro. That's crazy.
Every now and again you get in a pinch. And then number 2 honorable mention, Ruffles.
Cheddar Ruffles or standard Ruffles?
Cheddar Ruffles probably.
Yeah.
Cheddar Ruffles are
The
good.
standard
Ruffles
Ruffles. Standard Ruffles are fine, but the ridge is in your mouth.
All right, let's hear one.
Number 1, Tostitos hint of lime, dude. I love these chips. I remember as a kid.
So he is raw dogging those.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Those are valid.
Yeah.
Dude, as a kid, I would climb into the back of the
That's
minivan.
crazy.
I would climb in the back of the minivan after we had a public shopping, dig out the Tostitos, open it, and dig through the bag so I could get the perfectly seasoned ones. Beautiful ball knowledge there on that.
Yeah, I mean it's a really good chip. I don't think it's number 1.
That's fine.
But I get where you're coming from.
What would you put at number 1 in this?
Probably the chili lime purple bag Doritos, if I'm being honest.
I
Those
do
bang.
like those.
Yeah.
I just have such an innate memory
Also,
of
a shout for Cheetos jalapeno.
The cheddar jalapeno.
Cheddar
the
jalapeno.
Cheetos. Oh,
Cheetos.
dude, yeah.
Those are also filled with more carcinogens than like 6 bags put together. But hey,
Yeah.
YOLO, baby.
yeah,
Also, I want to go back on my rants about the Doritos Jacked. It is the only chip to date that perfectly seasoned every chip. You never got a barren chip. All of them
And
were coated.
the heyday of chip making where it wasn't 60% air.
Yeah.
I felt
it
like
was a
those
full bag.
bags were packed, brother.
well, I found out why that actually happens.
Oh, God.
Why?
Why?
Because when you go through like processing and packaging, the chips fall down. Like the bags are full and they put them in and then they sell.
I'm calling it corporate greed.
I don't
That's what I'm
disagree with
calling
that.
it. I'm calling corporate greed, and you're falling for Fugazi
Ooh,
schemes.
see, this is a good question. Cheez-Its are crackers, not chips.
Cheez-Its are
correct?
crackers.
Okay.
Do
Yeah,
not
Cheez-Its
count.
are
Like
crackers.
Cheez-Its, Wheat Thins, those are completely separate.
Cheez-Its might deserve its own list.
It does.
To be honest.
Oh, if we were doing crackers, Cheez-Its is number 1.
Cheez-Its like fits in the goldfish category.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, you could do a top 5 with Cheez-It flavors alone.
Honestly, I've
That's what I'm
realized
saying.
just now we're 2 minutes over into the local hour. We better go.
Chips are a good.
Sorry,
Sorry,
guys.
chips are a good time. We'll see you on the other side of the break. We got a loaded local hour.
Welcome into Talk the Dog, the show where we find a bone to pick and a take to give. These are not hot takes. These is dog takes. Can I talk that dog? What's up? You really like that? Let's shut up and grind some tape.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back for another hour here on the Film Guy Network. It is a loaded local hour. We got some unfortunate news to talk about here at the top. I thought it would be good for us to do a depth check before the last show before G-Day, and then do the same exact thing the first show back from G-Day. just kind of see what we thought the depth chart was going into it and what we know the depth chart to be coming out of it, okay? So that'll be fun tonight. We'll get an opportunity to do that. We have final thoughts before G-Day, and it is Thursday during the offseason, which means we have Discord Q&A. If you want to join our Discord, it's patreon.com/Brooks Austin. It's also where all of our practice observations come, all of our practice notes, all of our intel, all of our recruiting stuff, which is about to start taking off like a rocket ship because starting next week, I am all across the state of Georgia seeing recruits, seeing different football programs, learning different things. So we got a lot going on over there. Patreon.com/Brooks Austin. Let's start with the bad news. Sad news, Amaris Williams, non-contact injury. I have not been able to confirm the severity of the injury. I do believe Graham Coffey has reported that it is a torn ACL. I haven't heard, like I said, severity of the injury. I've just been told knee injury, he got a knee.
The inklings certainly don't sound good.
Not good. So let's just assume that he is going to be out for the foreseeable future. That is an 8 to 12-month recovery. Now, I will say this. That is a twitchy human being. If anybody's going to have rapid recovery, it's probably going to be him. But having this happen this time of the year means earliest window, maybe playoff time.
It's
but we
the
don't want to
George
be doing
Pickens territory where you might get him for a playoff run if possible.
Correct. This sucks for a multitude of reasons, but it really sucks because this was your Band-Aid for immediate, like twitch, immediate pass rush, immediate life, get home now type of guy. And that is apart from, giving Gabe a breather and giving Quintavious a breather and being like the third guy in that rotation or the first guy in that rotation at both of those positions, defensive end and jack, which is what he was kind of shaping up to do this year for Georgia. More importantly, what is going to have to get replaced is the immediate twitch, right? Because if you're just telling me like, hey, Gabe's got to play more now, I'm like, okay, well, he's going to be okay with that. Gabe's fine with that. Same thing for Quintavious. Like never ever did I watch tape last year and be like, hey, 0 and 33 got to come off the field. They're gassed. It just doesn't happen for those guys. They play like their hair's on fire every down. So that's not my concern. My concern is, like I said, the immediate pass rush win, which my mind immediately goes to Chase Linton. Like, that's a major role now for you, buddy. Like, there's no, hey, we need you to be great come November. Like, we kind of need you to be able to do this come August.
Does this change the role that Chris Cole might play in the
as a rusher?
Yes.
Yeah, but the thing about Chris, and they fell into this last year, I felt like, and they did too. They would tell me things like this where you have to avoid having Chris do everything and being a master of none.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's great at all of that, but like, we kind of need you to develop as one or the other.
Right.
Like on third down, he's our best guy to cover tight ends, but what if he's also our best edge rusher? We can't do both. You know what I mean? And you can't work a lather at either. You know what I mean? Like pass rushing guys, quarter one looks totally different than quarter four because it's a rhythm thing. I understand when he's throwing hands. I understand where his kick side is. I understand where the drop point is of the quarterback come second, third, fourth quarter. I start working a groove. I start working a lather. Then I start beating ass. Like that's kind of how it works for most of these guys at the edge rusher position. So that kind of knocks that down.
So maybe the correct person to maybe point at would be Zayden Walker, like someone from the linebacker room beat him.
Yeah.
Because you got other bodies at the linebacker room to where he could be the guy that's like, all right, you were good at this last year. Might need to put some more time into that.
And it puts more emphasis on Elijah Griffin being the freak show that he's supposed to be on passing downs, right? Anybody that can show flash of getting to the quarterback now. It doesn't even have to be an edge rusher. Like I felt like when Georgia was their best in terms of high pressure rates and getting guys on the ground and forcing havoc and stuff like that, it's when they had three techs that could beat guards now and get home to the quarterback's feet and get in their face immediately. So that is something that they're going to have to find. And they've got plenty of bodies, all right? But, yeah, man, this was something that they brought this guy in because they knew he could bring life to something that they needed to have solved. And now he's out.
Yeah, I think that's why it stings more than anything, too, because there was so much excitement to see what it looked like. Yeah. Like, this was something you hadn't seen as a Georgia fan, or at least in this uniform, this specific player, and now it's being taken away from you.
I mean, the film from last year was just explosive, to say the least. It was extremely fun to watch.
Last time this happened, you won a natty, though.
With the Pickens thing?
Oh, are you going to do it? Are you going to do the –
Just saying.
Not all bad news is bad news.
Also, I hate that. Maybe I don't feel like I have to do this, but I feel like it's worth mentioning because I saw multiple tweets about it. If you are the person going to Twitter right now blaming this on Kirby Smart practicing too hard, this ain't the sport for you to follow, probably. And I believe this was in a non-contact setting, supposedly, so I don't think that you have to blame it. But if you know anything about football, especially Georgia football, you're going to hit.
You ain't got to find a new sport. Find a new football team.
Yeah,
bro.
maybe find a new football team.
You know,
go be an Indiana fan.
There's a lot of guys that tag off all the time.
Yeah, go be a Tennessee fan, Indiana fan, any of those programs, you know?
Go be an Indiana fan and try to, when you do, come back and tell me how they did it. 'Cause that don't make no sense to me. My favorite interview in the entire Indiana process was Urban Meyer watching his brain explode when Kirk Cinetti was like, yeah, I mean, we don't really practice. I mean, that's not what he said, but that's what he said. In comparison to Urban Meyer basically killing people during workouts and during practice and having all kinds of heavy contact periods, to hear Kirk Cinetti be like, yeah, I mean, we get 15 practices in the spring, but I've never used them all. Huh?
Did you do something with the lav?
Yeah, I had to switch the batteries, so it fuzzed on y'all. I apologize.
Okay. I was like, what the
Yeah,
heck
no,
is
the
going
batteries
on?
were dying on me, so I had to fix that. That's on me, guys. It should be fixed now. I apologize. Yeah, I had to turn around, switch the batteries. They were dying. We're good now, though.
Yeah.
Should be.
Should be good now. Speaking of now, let's go to the board now and do a little depth check.
The board is ready for you.
Thank you, sir. All right, we do this every, 4 or 5 months, and I'm going to do my best not to draw an inappropriate object on the screen today. And I'm going to do that by writing names instead of numbers. Hey, Jonathan, I found both pins. One just hit the ground now.
Just lost one.
I found them both. I got them both. Let's start with the offense, and let's start with the offensive line. Let's start over here at left tackle. We're going to pencil in Ernest Green right now, and then Zakai Helton right there next to him. And we're going to pencil Drew on paper, knowing he is not available for the spring. Does everybody understand that? This looks terrible, doesn't it?
It does. I would honestly just do numbers.
Just do numbers?
Just do numbers. If you draw something, we'll laugh for a few seconds.
All right, 71. Zakai is 54. Will you look up the roster? Let's just put Zakai right here. Zakai. 74 is Drew Bobo's number. Obviously, Malachi Tolliver, 51, and Cortez Smith, who I don't know the number of. Pull up the roster for me.
Zakai is 55.
All right. Zakai is 55. All right. Let's put him in here. What is Cortez Smith's number?
I believe he's 50.
Donnie Glover here at right guard.
Cortez Smith is 50.
And then 73, Juan Gaston in there at right tackle. We talked about this last night with the rotations, right? This will be the first unit that I think will go out. At least it was this last Saturday during their their final scrimmage before G-Day, okay? If not, Zakai will be not with the ones, all right? Juan Gaston will come over here and play this guard spot, and Jaw Jackson will come in here at tackle. That will happen at some point on Saturday. You'll see that rotation. It won't be 9 sets of offensive linemen like we saw from Florida this past weekend, but it'll be a good rotation.
So they're going to go full unit on this scrimmage, you think? Like it's not going to be a one guard here, a 2 tackle, maybe we'll get the 2 center, just see like how each player individually, like they're looking for a unit as a whole.
As long as I've covered Georgia, they have never gone out there and just been like, hey, the 3 tackles randomly with the 1 left guard, and then there's the 2 center, and then there's the starting right tackle, and then the 3. No, it normally looks like we got a group of 1s, and there's like 6 guys that rotate with the 1s, and then we got a group of 2s, and there's like 6 or 7 guys that rotate with the 2s, and the 1s are with the 1 quarterback, and the 2s are with the 2 quarterback. And that now whether or not they go against the 1's defense or the 2's defense, that's up to the coach, and they kind of flip-flop that throughout the scrimmage. But no, Kirby, I've never seen them do the, hey, offense is going against defense today like Florida did. Florida did. Offense is going versus defense today. If the defense gets a stop, it's worth 7 points. If they hold them to a field goal, it's worth 3, that kind of thing. They scored it weird. I don't expect Georgia to do that. All right, now, I talk about depth charts on the offensive line as travel squad guys. All right, so that is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 guys you need to kind of pay attention to in competition for who's going to play with those quote-unquote 1s. Obviously, this is a non-discussion point, right? The moment Drew's healthy, he's the guy.
Yep.
These two are fighting right now to figure out who's going to play if Drew gets hurt next year or this fall, that kind of thing, okay? Now, interior offensive linemen to pay attention to. We've already got them both here. Cortez Smith and Malachi Tolliver. I do think they're going to get guards reps on Saturday. They've been getting them this spring. I would imagine they continue to do so during G-Day. My only question at tackle, besides the three that they got going on right now, is how fast can Ekene Agboko get ready to play college football?
Yeah.
Okay, because of all the tackles that they have outside of the three that we've talked about tonight, Ekene is the quote-unquote future, if you will. My other questions that I'm very curious to see, I got 4 names. What the hell are they doing with Michael Unai? Okay, we'll just put M. Unai over here. Same thing with Daniel Calhoun. What the hell is going on there? Haven't heard much at all this spring from either of those names. Another guy I'm paying attention to, Marcus Harrison. I know they loved him a lot coming out of high school. He wasn't very highly rated, but I've heard some decent things throughout his first 2.5 years at the University of Georgia. And a freshman other than Zakai and Ekene that I've heard a lot about is Graham Houston. I've heard somebody compare him to Dylan Fairchild. And if you get that, that means you have an extremely high floor the moment you show up into high school or college football.
Strong as hell.
And you're strong as hell. So there's that going on. Did I miss anybody? Is chat talking about any names, questions about any guys?
Chat's just roasting me for liking flavorless chips. You're doing great.
I mean, if y'all know this guy, he is chicken and rice, buddy. I mean, he shows
Bland
up.
is king.
I mean, his seasoning cabinet probably. His seasoning cabinet probably bland as all can be. My man
chips aren't bland; they're great.
My man worries about nitrates and sodium counts. You thought that chip list was going to be banging?
The
No.
chip list was good.
Buddy, you don't got no body fat on you. Don't nobody trust you about your food takes. Here's my opinion about food. You want to learn what to do at the buffet line, just find the fattest guy in the room and follow him. He going to put you on game. Not Lay's potato chip, basic original flavor guy.
Lay's was not on the list.
You know what I mean.
were not on
Tostitos
the
lime.
list.
I hear lime chicken.
Those are delicious.
No dip.
Dude.
No dip on the chip is crazy.
That's the whole point of the list. The chips just gotta be the ranking.
All right, enough about giving you hell. We good on the offense line?
Yeah,
I gave chat time to give me questions and give me hell about anybody I missed. All right, we're good there. Let's move on. Let's go to quarterbacks. Be nice and simple. Okay, QB. You got Gunnar Stockton. I would die for. Okay, we all would. Raise your hand if you die for Gunnar Stockton. Yep, that's what I thought.
Gunnar Stockton would die for me, so I'd die for Gunnar Stockton.
He would. We got the old Pugga versus Monty. Is that what we're going to call him? We got to get a nickname for Monty.
Monty Pugga.
Yeah, let's call him Monty. We got Pugga versus Monty at that QB2 position. And then we're probably going to go Buddha. All right? And then Beaver. Okay? Now, my question, and y'all know it, chat. Y'all already hitting on it. Colton or Coulter? Coulter?
Colton Ginn.
My man Ginn.
I think it's Colton Ginn.
I want to see Ginn spin this weekend. Probably won't. That's unfortunate.
Who gets more reps? Bryson Beaver or Colton Ginn?
Beaver.
You think so?
Yeah. I think they actually have investment maybe into Beaver for the future. So, yeah, I'm interested to see what this looks like, height, weight, and, in a Georgia uniform. We haven't seen it. The rest of these guys
we've seen. Really good.
This guy looks so beautiful.
Yeah.
He looks like he could play some damn ball. Any thoughts?
I think Colton Ginn is the type of guy where it's like you're up 40 and finally that guy. Like the Jackson Muschamp moment, I feel like, of holy hell, this guy can play too?
No offense to my man Jackson Muschamp, but Colton Ginn is slightly better.
I don't think that's unfair to say.
All right. Let's go to running back. Okay. Now, here's how I got it. I got it Nate, Chauncey. Okay.
By the way, I think chat's correct. This might be Coulter.
Short yardage. Dowdle.
Mm-hmm.
Third down. Question mark.
Mm-hmm.
Other question marks about this room. Does Peanut force their hand? Does he force their hand to create a role for him? Is he explosive enough to where we have to get him 7 to 8 touches per game? We got to manufacture it somehow, some way. I think the answer might be yes. I think at some point it will be.
And we've beat this horse to death a couple of times, but do you feel like he did that last year?
Yeah, and again, we still don't have an answer. We don't know why it disappeared. I might text and find that out. Probably should have a long time ago, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know what went on there, but something went on. He just disappeared from the rotation, and it wasn't like he was on injury reports. So I don't know what went on at that point. And the other question is obviously P and pass, right? When it's an automatic passing situation, who is playing running back for the University of Georgia this fall? I have never known Nate to be a great weapon after the catch the ball out of the backfield type of guy.
We also just don't know, though.
But we don't know, right? But here's how you always heard me to say this: your usage and how coordinators use you indicates to me what they think of your skill set.
But do you think that Cash Jones was just so good at that role that they didn't want to use anybody
For sure.
else?
I think so.
For sure. But Trevor Etienne got that role with Cash Jones on the roster. Trevor Etienne got stop screens. They'd motion to empty and give
That's
him the
fair.
ball
No,
and let him run.
there's certainly
So,
no
like-
denying that Nate hasn't been necessarily featured in the passing game.
Etienne, excuse me.
He has. I mean, he has gotten
H-N?
reps.
H-N.
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 Nate hasn't been necessarily featured in the passing game, but he has gotten reps in that. And he's a lot of swing passes gone his way this year. Like, now, granted, those might be checkdowns, but still, I think there's a avenue for him to be that.
Bo Walker. Who else am I missing in the room?
Oh,
Anybody
Jay
else?
Lamar.
Jay Lamar. I haven't heard much about Lamar.
I mean, how could you with how many names there are?
Yeah.
No, nothing against him, but
None. Yeah, nothing against him. All right, that is what we got going on. I think this is like 2027 and 28 plans.
yeah.
You know? Mm-hmm. All right, that's enough of the running
What about
backs.
Chauncey out of the backfield?
What's up?
What about Chauncey out of the backfield?
Yeah, again, don't know.
Yeah.
Don't know. I think you're right in the sense that Cash was so good at it. They just no one else got an opportunity to show that they can do
Right.
it. And I do think Cash
And-
was really, really good.
It was.
That as well, and I think it's also like Kirby respects guys that dedicate a lot of time to the program, and I think that it was very evident that they carved out that role specifically for Cash because it's not like he was probably going to be contributing heavily anywhere else on the field.
All right, so we call this the Elias and position. Okay? Elias and who else, right?
Really?
Yeah, that's
It's
how
that quick, huh?
That's how I think it should be. Like, no offense to Lawson Lucky, but we're in 11, 10's on the field. If we're in 12, then we start the pecking order of who joins 10 until 10 needs a breather.
I mean, look, if I look, Elias Williams could absolutely be that undeniable. I think it's certainly fair. I'm just kind of surprised. Like I don't think we've ever seen a senior get beat out at that position like that.
Not that he's beat out. Lawson's going to play just as many reps as he did last year. Okay? It's about this guy being a special football player. Okay?
I guess John Fitzpatrick got beat out by Brock in 21.
Yes.
Just a bit.
John Fitzpatrick, the NFL football player, though.
Starting NFL football.
Yeah.
12 personnel.
We can cut it off there.
You're
All
not
right,
putting Caden Prothro on this list, correct?
Correct. He's a wide receiver. We'll talk about him in just a second. Right. Obviously, this guy's going to play a lot of snaps, right?
Yep.
This guy's going to play a lot of snaps. This guy right here has been the talk of spring camp from a after the catch standpoint. All right, which is one of the questions we're going to talk about in final thoughts. I think if I had an objective as a football coach at the University of Georgia this Saturday, it would be a multitude of things, but up at the top of them would be who is going to replace Zachariah's yards after the catch. And because we're still going to have a quarterback that's going to get blitzed a lot, we're going to have a football team that gets manned up a lot. We're going to have a football team that gets a lot of pressure at them, and the ball's going to have to come out of the quarterback's hands now. So whether that's Jacoby White, whether that's Jaden Riddell, whether that's Ethan Barbour, whoever it is, we got to find that out or have an inclination of who that is leaving Saturday. And we got to almost manufacture those touches. I think it ought to be balls thrown down the field, off play action or out of empty or whatever. Just show nothing but take shots. And the other one should be get the ball out of his hands now and see who can actually do something. Because we're going to be tackling for the only time. We're going to get 3 more opportunities before we play our first game.
Yeah.
Right? We're going to tackle a little bit in fall camp, but not a ton. All right, so this is really it.
I would imagine the spring game is a good opportunity for that because you're keeping it vanilla anyways. What's more vanilla
100%.
And
just
I mean,
get the guy
That's what I'm saying. The offense ought to be designed off deep shots and yak opportunities because those are the 2 questions about our roster right now that we have.
Oh, I mean, the first 2 maybe 3 games are going to be that this year as well.
Correct.
So they have time. I don't think they're going to press the issue too much on finding too many things out.
All right, let's talk about wide receiver, and we're going to do this per position. We're going to start with the X position. I think this is Canyon versus Wiley. From here on out, how they perform and how they play will dictate which one of them is on the field majority of the time. Honestly, very similar to Colby and Noah last year. Colby was the better football player, so he played majority of the snaps. People were wondering, where's the Noah Thomas usage? Well, they don't subscribe to what we subscribed to last year, which was, hey, just play them both. Play Twix. Remember that?
Yep.
Like, hey, just play both of them at the same time. They didn't want to do that. I don't anticipate them to do that this year. Okay, so how we play here will ultimately depict, and how we play moving forward will ultimately depict playing time. Same thing here at Z, all right, between London Humphreys and Talon Taylor, okay? I think how consistently physical we can be will depict how many opportunities we have moving forward for Talon. And I think if anybody surpasses the guy in front of them at these 2 positions to start, it's probably Talon over London.
Well,
this guy has had a great spring in Canyon.
I was going to say, I think that Talon also, while London and Talon do play very similar positions, basically the same position, I think Talon certainly has a different role in the offense that he would. Like he's probably going to come in and be your home run guy.
Correct, 100%. Now, the slot position, you were asking about pro throw. I think they play 2 different types of body types at this position. I think they play Zakovi in here, and they play pro throw in here at this position.
Do they put Caden pro throw at the X at all? Just because size, or is
Could, but again, we're full here. This room is good, I think, right now with these 2 getting reps. And also, I don't want him in bump and run situations out there against bigger, longer corners.
That's fair.
If you pay attention to SEC football nowadays, guys, no offense, I love this guy. He's a friend of the show. There ain't a Brandon Boykin in this conference anymore. There's not a 5'9" corner out there that's just an absolute speed demon that can run. In fact, D'Angelo Pons is kind of a rarity.
Yeah.
Okay, he's a real rarity.
Right.
And they played him in zone coverage all year long.
Is Brandon Boykin that small?
Brandon Boykin's sub 5'11", yeah. It helps, maybe sub 5'10" at the combine. What do you got?
5'10" flat.
Yeah. But anyways, nowadays everybody's kind of long and big out there. You know, no offense, but like Dejon Lee's not going to be afraid of Caden Prothro walking out there.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about this the other day. It seems like corners are getting longer and longer.
Longer and longer and longer. So the closer we can get these guys into the ball in their early portions of their career, the more space we can give them naturally based off of alignment, the more success they'll have early on. Now, questions. Guys that have to earn a role kind of, right? We'll put these guys in earn a role. They probably already have a role, but it's more of like, hey, you keep doing stuff, we'll have to expand your role, right? I put Landon Roldan in this position.
Where does he fall? What position does he fall in for you?
All the above. I think he can probably play a little Z, probably play a little slot. He will do the let's put him in there and take a shot things very similar to Talon. They did this against, I think it was Auburn or maybe Florida. Was it Florida last year?
Tried it on a post,
he about got it. They about hit it. So yeah, he'll be used as that role, just like a burner in there, get in some mix, and hopefully pop him for a 3 for 95 one day and get hot. That kind of thing right there with him. Who else we got? Dandridge as a true freshman. I expect him to play a role somewhere. Very similar to this guy as well. Very similar to this guy and this guy. All right, the ability to get in there, be a one-move route runner, maintain speed, run past the safety, run past the nickel. That stuff is really, really dangerous and needed in college football. The other name that I've heard good things about is, hey, this guy's a hit. This guy is a physical specimen, and he is turning the corner, is Thomas Blackshear, the wide receiver out of Calvary Day down there in Savannah. Okay. Another name to note, we'll see if it pops out this weekend, is Tyler Williams. The kid from Florida.
Wasn't it?
I knew he was from Florida. I want to say Lakeland. He's not from Lakeland.
That was the other Tyler Williams.
Tyler Williams. Yeah, good job. All right, let's move over to the defensive side of the football. Let's talk about nose tackles, okay? Now, we know Xavier McLeod is going to play next to Elijah Griffin this year. And the question for me is, if he comes off the field, if he needs to come off the field, and we don't play 2-3 techniques or 2 defensive tackles, we actually have to have a 6'4" plus, 310-pound plus guy run out there on the field and hold to stop the run on early downs.
Is it Nasir Johnson, the guy I've loved forever but can't seem to get on the field? Or is it Nnamdi Agboko, all right, the brother of Ekene, the older brother of Ekene, who is an absolute tree stump?
Yes.
I mean, Agboko is one of the thicker human beings that they have on the roster. But they got to figure something out here because as much as I love X, I love X playing 50 snaps, not X playing 65 snaps. I think we need to really, really condense this and get maximum value out of him. I think he could be a difference maker defensive tackle in this conference if we can get him to play at a high rate all the time.
Right.
Okay. What's up? You about to say something?
I thought you were pointing at us to try and fill some dead air there for a second. But
Yeah, because I had to cough. But we're all good. We're all good. Let's keep it moving. Let's keep it trucking. Let's go on to
we're
defense.
talking about spring, by the way, chat. We got people asking about Jordan Hall. We're talking about spring. So by the
Oh,
way,
yeah, Jordan Hall not available. Jordan Hall not available,
available.
and he would be in the defensive tackle category, not the nose tackle category. The way I always assume this is if he looks closer to Jordan Davis's body type, he might have a chance to play nose. If he looks like Devontae Wyatt, he's probably a 3 tech. That's the easiest way to kind of contextualize it for the common audience. All right, let's go over here to these defensive tackles. It's obviously going to be led by Elijah Griffin, okay? This is the Joshua Horton category this spring as well. This is where Jordan Hall would come into the equation. All right, this is also Valdon Sohn territory, I would imagine. Now, Valdon is such a large human being, he might be able to play nose. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if next year Valdon and Elijah play together.
Do they often cross? Like, I feel like the last one to do this was Jalen Carter.
So, I don't think, and I could be wrong, and I don't chart this enough, but I don't view them as a mint front football team anymore.
No, they don't have a
Not
true
the
zero.
last couple. They don't have a true zero. They have a shade and a 3,
Right.
and the shade might bump to a head-up 0 every once in a while if you want to attach a tight or something like that. But if you line up in a traditional offense nowadays, I don't think they're going to line up in mint front defense because they don't have a Jordan Davis type. So, yeah, you ask if they're cross-trained. Yes, they are. They're cross-trained now because of all the motion going on in football now too, where we flip formations. I can't have you getting your big ass up and switching positions. You just need to slide, and that's how that works. So yes, they have to be cross-trained by nature nowadays. But they still recruit 2 separate body types, right?
For sure.
They still definitely do, with almost the intentions to be a mint front football team. But it's hard to find a unicorn like Jordan Davis. Now, I will tell you who is obviously still trying to be a mint front dude. Will Muschamp at Texas. It's very clear to me that he's still trying because he took the Jafar kid from Arkansas.
Yeah.
That's 400 pounds and ain't never done much, but he's big. You know what I mean? And the first thing he did to Hero Canoe was like, hey, you got to play at 335 this year. What? Because I've been 315 my whole life. Oh, it's just double up the Chick-fil-A order.
Double the Chick-fil-A
double the
order.
Chick-fil-A order. You'll be all right. By the way, here's $1 million.
Go spend it on Chick-fil-A.
Go spend it on Chick-fil-A. Defensive end. Let's talk about this. Okay. Now, Gabe is obviously out this spring. He will be your starter.
Yep.
Now, this is going to be crazy, but I think Justin Green's going to roll out there with the ones on Saturday
Good for Justin Green.
at defensive
honestly.
end. I think he will be spelled by JJA, Joseph Jonah Ajonye, and JJ Hane. Okay?
nice and simple.
That is the mix there at defensive end. Let's split this screen right now and go ahead and put Jack right here as well because they're kind of similar positions. We obviously know Quintavious Johnson is going to play a role as the starter and the guy at this position. Right now, it sounds like Chase Linton is his backup with Isaiah Gibson and is that 2 A's in that? Isaiah Gibson, and we're just going to put Icky, my man Ike Nagman, behind him. Now, these 2 guys were top 75 football players. This guy was a lowly 3-star out of North Atlanta when he was recruited and signed or committed to Georgia. He ended up inside the top 100. It's funny how that works. But anyways, Amaris would have played both of these positions. Okay.
Damn.
And now we know that is no more.
So.
Good thing is multiple years.
Right? And we're going to grab a medical.
Yep.
Right? So that's good. Okay. We're good on the DNs and the jacks.
Yes.
Can I just do this and save everybody time?
Oh, yeah. Just go ahead.
Yeah, I don't think there's too much controversy at this position.
Them.
Yeah.
Good?
Pretty cut and dry like normal there.
Good. All right. Star. I have no clue.
I'm interested in this one.
I have no clue, boys. This is all I know. Khalil Barnes is going to start.
Got to be Dink, right?
Don't know who's behind him. Dink's got to. Bro, Dink was playing star all year last year, and now all of a sudden through 14 practices is going to have to bump back to safety. So unless he is bilingual already, then yeah, maybe he can play both. But if he's just now learning how to play safety, he needs to stay at safety, and he doesn't need to be cross-trained. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't hate that take.
But I mean, dude, if he knows it, yeah, he can practice both. He can be the depth of both. He probably is the answer at both, right? If Khalil got hurt, they probably would bump Dink down, because he knows the position. But he's got to know safety.
Let's say hypothetically we're in the 2023 season. Tyke Smith suffers an injury. He's out of the game.
Bull comes back down.
They put Javon Bullard back at the start.
Correct. And
that's kind of the logic I'm using.
The same thing would happen here. Like if he gets hurt, it would be Dink right behind him, right? And he probably is on the depth chart. However, on Saturday, Dink's probably not going to get too many star reps because he needs to get all those safety reps.
For sure.
So what we're going to find out is what does the depth behind Dink look like at this position, I think, is what we're ultimately going to find out. Because I don't think he's going to take reps there on Saturday. So we'll find out. That's my biggest question there. Let's talk about safety right next to it. Okay. This is a KJ and situation. Okay. Yeah. KJ and. Right now it's KJ and Dink. It's KJ and Zion. All right. And it's KJ and maybe a little Tyreek Green getting reps with some ones. Okay. And then after that, it's guys like, where are we at? Guys like Blake Stewart. Okay. Who's going to be a good player at Georgia, by the way. Okay. That's not how you spell Stewart, but you get it.
Even if you spelled it
we have
correct.
our expectations very low.
Even if you
here.
spelled it correctly, I don't think it'd been legible.
Y'all ready for some anticlimactic?
Yep.
Yes, please.
Very much like the linebacker room.
Ellis DeMello. We just gave the podcast listeners like 10 seconds of ASMR.
All right.
Yeah, we did.
Ellis and DeMello, and then Braylon Connolly versus Jonte Gilbert. I would imagine you look up and these two guys' tongues are dragging by the end of practice.
Probably.
Ain't nobody going to get more reps than these guys. Their GPS catapults are going to be through the roof. It's going to be get this guy some water. All right. There's the depth check.
I like it.
Lovely. Thank you for that.
Chad always enjoys that. Did they enjoy that as much today?
They
did.
were very involved.
Yeah. Were they making fun of my handwriting as usual?
No, they're still on me for my food choices.
All right, we have Discord Q&A going up on a Thursday. This one's supposed to be G-Day editions. Let's go for it. Best G-Day performance last 5 years. Shout out Makai Muse.
Makai Muse had a really good one. I will never, ever forget the Dominic Lovett G-Day performance.
The Dom Lovett G-Day performance was insane.
Oh,
Buddy,
man.
We were making dudes miss before we even touched the ball.
2024 Dom Lovett G-Day.
Third round draft pick. Easy third round draft pick.
I thought he was going to be, oh, gosh. I thought that season was going to be so special.
Did not pan out that way.
It didn't, unfortunately. But, man, that was the best he ever looked in a Georgia uniform.
C.J. Allen 2 years ago was.
That was the same year, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was pretty crazy.
A.D. Mitchell in 21 stole the show.
Oh, that's when we found out how to pronounce his name.
I remember that. I remember that very much.
Adonai Mitchell.
I'm trying to think of like early. Jake Fromm had a really good spring day in 2017 coming into that year.
Yes, he did.
Some people were like, hey, maybe he should start over Jacob Eason. And
What pass catcher shows off the most at G-Day?
Pass catcher?
Elias Williams?
I was going to say it'll be one of the big freaks.
I think it'll be Prothrow.
Caden Prothrow, maybe. You know what? Caden Prothrow.
Prothrow, Williams, or Isaiah Canyon would be my top three candidates right there. Or Hezekiah Melander. Who has the most to gain? And I don't want to say the counter to that. I guess he's talking about G-Day. Who has the most to gain during G-Day?
I would now say it's whoever's going to play behind Quintavious.
Yeah.
I mean, that spot just opened right up for those guys.
JJA or
like Chase Linton. Or, JJA, but like Chase Linton, Isaiah Gibson, those two guys, they have the most to gain right now, in my opinion.
I think Landon Rolden's another name you could throw out there. Like, there's always that wide receiver that makes big plays where it's like, dang, we might need to give them some more burn. So Landon Rolden could maybe do that. I don't know.
Surely one of those linebackers not named Chris Cole or Justin Williams could earn, he has to play territory.
I know it's a big deal for fans. I don't feel like there's ever really a moment where coaches don't kind of know what they have already. Like, I don't think that there's going to be a game that Landon Rolden has or Sokovie White-Helton goes, it's like, oh my, we didn't know he had this gear. We need to find new reps for him. Like, I think it's kind of just a validation of what you see.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see Nasir Johnson making his way into anything playing time-wise, and how does he achieve this? For me, man, like, I watching as much defensive tape as I've watched, like individual player tape as I've watched the last month, so much so that my son believes my job is to sit on the couch and watch football. Goated. But the thing I've noticed is that if you don't play hard, you couldn't play for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there are certain guys that I have on the board over there that have big X's next to them, as in, like, no way, couldn't do it. Because when you stack all these guys up, which is what these coaches do all spring and all fall, they sit there and watch practice rep after practice rep after practice rep. They rewind it and run it and rewind it and run it and rewind it and then go to the next one. They're doing the same thing I'm doing. And when you do this, the lack of effort or the lack of consistent effort is a dead like sore thumb sticking out, and it makes you want to avoid playing that person or avoid drafting that person or being associated with that person. And I say this to say about Nasir, you want to be undeniable, you want to be a guy that has to play at your size and your skill set, be a guy that every time coach turns the tape on goes, good God, when did Nasir start playing this hard? Mm-hmm. And the next thing you know, you're on the field. Like, I think the effort and the general motor of an athlete on the defensive side of the football is far more important than anything else on the defensive side. If you don't like to run and you don't like to hit, you can't play, period. That would be the rule.
I think it's also the guys with the high motor stick out so much more. Like,
yes.
Javon Bullard in 2022 kind of carved his role because of what he was doing early in the season of this guy's playing with his hair on fire.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 2 Javon Bullard references in the last 10 minutes. Shout out.
Why is Caden Prothro going to win the Heisman as a freshman?
Oh, don't do that. They don't win.
That's 9-10 Cooper. He stay off the dog sauce. He owned the dog sauce 24/7.
Caden Prothro wins the Heisman if Gunnar Stockton throws for 4,500 yards. That'd be the first thing.
I think
if Gunnar Stockton throws for 4,500 yards, I'll dye my hair blue.
Why blue? Why not red? Like for the
I'll
dogs?
dye red. Wait, if I dye my hair, do I have to shave it, or do I just let it grow out and then cut it?
You just have to let it grow back.
And then go through that era where I'm like half red, half black.
Yeah,
okay, I'm fine with that.
Very aggressive
Yeah,
highlights.
if Gunnar Stockton throws for 4,500 yards, I will dye my hair red.
All right.
Put it on the board.
Let's do it.
I like it.
Get to work, Gunnar.
Who takes Amara's role this season as the twitchy edge rusher? We've already addressed this at this point in the show, but my man Josh Armstrong always has good stuff. Do you see that as the biggest need, or do you see Gunnar's downfield passing ability as the biggest missing key that could lead to a natty appearance? Yeah, I mean, both of those things, right? You got to be able to impact the passer, and you got to be a good passer.
Give me the impact in the passer more. Like,
you think so? I mean, yeah.
If Georgia had 15 more sacks on defense last year, I think that offense was perfectly capable of leading them to a Heisman or a national championship.
Yeah.
It wasn't great. It wasn't the best offense we've ever seen under Georgia, but when you needed the defense most, they kind of let you down in certain areas. We saw that offense put up 45 points in a game. Mm-hmm. They could do it. So I would say the defense is probably my preference.
Who's the guy that needs a big day? We've kind of already talked about that. I think, for me, I want to see Pugga have a big day. Mm-hmm. I kind of need to see what I thought I was going to see coming out of high school.
Yeah.
I was big on that stock coming out. And it's just we haven't seen much from him at all anyways.
You haven't
Because
seen –
wasn't he was another one of these guys that had a knee injury, couldn't play his first spring game, right?
Correct.
So last spring was the first time we actually saw him, and Kentucky was the game where we only actually got to see him run offense last year.
We
haven't seen anything.
No, we haven't seen Ryan Puglisi enough to even be like, oh, I'm excited about this. Like, all the excitement that we hear about his name is from what the traits he has and what you hear at practice. Like, even like with Carson Beck, you got enough reps of him in 2022. It's like, oh, this guy's really good. This guy can be something. You kind of saw that with Gunner in the Orange Bowl. Ryan hasn't had that opportunity. That's not through his fault, but.
On to the next question. Is Ryan quietly becoming the new JF or JF?
I think Ryan's better than Ryan.
Colin says, I was a JF guy myself.
I'm liking Ryan more than Ryan right now.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about
kind of a toss-up on the Ryans right now.
The difference in the Ryan versus Ryan debate is one isn't for the starting quarterback right now. Now, next season we might have a whole new thing on our hands, but it felt like the JF versus JF was very much, we just want the new shiny toy.
I was a Fromm over Fields guy. I don't know about you guys.
I was too.
Oh, yeah, I was too.
I mean, I think that's fairly well documented. We all were.
Yeah.
Justin Fields, no doubt more talented.
The only thing that was sparking that controversy truly was the fact that Justin Fields was a 5-star. And also add in the fact that he was a dual threat 5-star.
He was a dual threat 5-star. And Jake Fromm struggled. Like, the 2018 LSU game was not his best work.
Mm-hmm.
He had some moments where I was like, oh, maybe they need to change things. But
it ironically applies to this conversation because if you want to start at Georgia, don't turn the ball over.
Yep.
If you want to play at this university for this football coach, don't turn the ball over. Play clean in practice. You'll have an opportunity to start. Hell, I think Stetson proves that.
Mm-hmm.
The best player will play here. He always will.
But
at quarterback, it's not just the most talented player. It is the player who plays the system the best.
Did you see Munkin's comments about Stetson?
Yeah, I did. Those are two odd birds, Stetson and Monk.
I got the vibe from that Monk still kind of harbors some –
oh, no, they didn't work together well.
No.
Now, they had great results, but they bumped heads quite often.
Definitely.
And they still bump heads, it seems.
That's what I was going to say.
The comment about some of these – what did he say? He's like, he didn't even graduate?
Some of these guys play 6 to 5 years and they don't even graduate. Like, Stetson didn't graduate.
He even was like on the talk with like why he didn't play him. He's like – yeah, there was just things that I didn't want him, but
that he's got to own up to, and I have to own up to.
Some of those things he has to own as well. It's like, what do you?
But ultimately, I would say respect to Todd for sitting there and standing in the paint and being like, I was wrong.
No. Yeah.
And not even that, like, didn't say he was wrong, but also went to bat for Stetson and said, anybody that says that he wasn't a reason why Georgia won the national title specifically in 2022, they're dead wrong.
He said in 2021 we won with him. In 2022 we won because of him.
Correct. And by the way, he went to bat for him in 2021. There were people saying that Todd Monken needs to be fired because he kept starting Stetson Bennett. I vividly remember that. So Todd Monken, while the two of those guys probably aren't big fans of each other, there's always been a respect there on that. So shout out to that.
You mentioned you listened to Chris Sims a while back. I enjoy his content, and my favorite NFL draft guy. He was trying to be coy, but when he gushed about Zachariah Branch, he insinuated that Gunner held him back. One of many of the league guys who don't like Gunner. Is he off base, and can Gunner take a big step to show nationally he's a good college quarterback? Well, first of all, I think the nation, like national college football people who watch college football and understand what college football is, they already know Gunner's really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
I think what NFL draft people false victim to is they watch 12 NFL draft prospects that are NFL draft prospects because they throw the ball really pretty and they do things from the pocket that translate to Saturday, and they're watching cut-ups like that. I can't express to you how much cut-up clip watching deteriorates or shifts the actual true narrative of what's going on, because I can almost guarantee you right now he works for PFF, doesn't he? Doesn't he do a show with Florio?
I believe so.
Sims does a show with Florio, doesn't he?
I believe so.
I guarantee you, I can 100% almost guarantee you that he is watching his stuff on PFF, and he probably pulls up every single route that Zachariah Branch runs. He's not watching the full game. He's not watching the flow of the game. He's just watching Zachariah Branch run routes and then go, well, damn, you're wide open right here. Why isn't your quarterback throwing the football? not understanding the full nuance of what's actually going on.
And I also think that there's two different types of media outlets or media personalities in this sport as a whole. One looks at this through the eyes of college football. What are you as a college football player? How do you play on Saturdays? The other looks at through how would you be as an NFL player? Mm-hmm. I think going back to Stephen A. Smith of, he sucks, he's terrible. That's you viewing it for the prism of NFL.
You know who's getting a ton of this? Marcel.
Yeah.
Marcel Reed's getting a lot of this. People watching Casey Concepcion tape going, God, this quarterback sucks. Mm-hmm. And it's like, well, yeah, dude, you've watched the 35 dropbacks today. You didn't watch the 75-yard run he had just a minute ago.
It's also the same reason why people fall in love with the Drew Allers and the Anthony Richardsons of the world, because they look at it and go, oh, this would absolutely work out.
Yeah.
Like, this would work out in the NFL. Like, you look at it through the prism of the NFL when you're not necessarily doing your due diligence. Now, it's not your job to, but when you give these takes, you have to be educated on it.
Do we see a 100-yard receiver this weekend? If so, who's it going to be?
If you see a 100-yard receiver this weekend, it's because they had two absolute bombs of plays. Mm-hmm. I'm going to say it's either going to be a Landon Roldan type guy or Talon Taylor, like someone who is a burner.
Joshua Armstrong says his guesses are pro throw with an OLI being Blackshear.
I would lean more Blackshear. Like, I could see pro throw getting like 6 for 70.
Between Ikignagbun and Isaiah Gibson, who do you expect to flash more on Saturday?
Ooh,
Chase Linton.
That's a good question.
I don't know.
I don't have the answer. I don't have one where I'd say, I expect him more.
Again, two players we haven't seen much of.
Yeah, we just don't know yet.
Yeah. Who do you want to show more? Who do you want to show so much fire, passion, and energy that the coaches have to calm them down?
Zakai Helton.
Yeah, but I think that's going to be a already.
I know, but
Juan Gaston would be my answer.
I want to see it in person.
If Juan Gaston ever gets to the point where we got to hold him back without somebody saying something about his mama to get it to happen, the sky is the ever-loving limit. If that dude had a mean streak, he would be like God's best creation at tackle.
Is there a way to be a successful player without that, though?
Yeah, Andrew Thomas.
That's what I'm saying. Because I think
Andrew Thomas, I don't envision to be a killer.
No, like Brock Bowers wasn't mean.
Jonathan Ogden wasn't this. I watched Michael Strahan talk about Jonathan Ogden. He said it was so terrifying because he would beat your ass and then just like chuckle.
His face didn't fit his helmet.
His face didn't fit his helmet. He said it would be so disorienting because you're looking across the line of scrimmage and this is like 6'8", 400-pound human whose face is like scratching his face mask and his helmet.
It looks like he's wearing a cross helmet.
Yeah. And he's like, the guy never ever said a mean thing ever, was never angry, was just out there getting it done because he's that gifted.
That's terrifying.
You know, even worse. Like, you know what I mean? It's way worse. I'd rather the guy tell me he's going to murder me than laugh. That's so emasculating.
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah. Fire, passion, energy. Coach, calm down. We already got it. We named ours. With Amaris being sidelined, which edge rusher stands to benefit the most? We've kind of already hit on that a lot tonight.
Yeah, I think anything Amaris.
Yeah, we've already hit on.
Touched on enough.
Those that will be there in person, which groups do we need to be most attentive to? We already have a ton of bona fide dudes on our team. So who/what groups should I have my focus on?
I'd say star.
Star.
Be focusing on that one.
Star, safety.
Corner, because, I mean, I'm
not
expecting to see a lot of Ellison.
I'm not
and Mello.
either. I don't expect them to get a lot of playing time.
And even then, you already know where they are, and there's going to be 4 corners on the field. So I think that's kind of what you need to look for.
Do schools have insurance on players who get injured, or is it just a financial loss? The players themselves nowadays oftentimes have insurance, but most of those are draft-eligible guys that are coming back.
Yeah.
They get insurance on their body, basically, that gives them payouts relative to their mock draft position.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The year they chose to come back, right?
If they get hurt.
Yeah.
Like, there was a very famous case this year in the SEC where a player was medically ineligible and then got back to playing right around SEC championship time. That player did have insurance, and he was going to receive whatever he got if he had to medically retire at that slot.
Yeah.
And I think at the time he was like a 3rd-round draft pick.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to be that now.
Yeah.
he's back to playing football, and I think he's going to be a 4th, 5th, maybe 6th round draft pick.
Gotcha.
But yeah, there are player insurances, but no, there's no like, hey, I was slotted to pay Amaris $900,000 and now he's not going to play. Do I get that money back? No, you don't. Amaris gets that money and he rehabs hard.
Yep.
Unfortunately, it's a sunken cost business. It would be even worse back in the day, last year, because they front loaded everything.
Oh yeah.
So he would be hurt and just sitting at home getting racks. Actually, the racks are already be in the account.
Mm-hmm.
Now he actually has to show up and do his rehab. In your opinion, what are some things we can actually take away from G-Day?
I'm glad this question got asked because
Are you going to say nothing? Don't do that. You can't do that.
I don't think people should take away as much that usually does get taken away. Like we talked about this on the show of like our takeaway in 2024 was Dom Lovett's going to be a dude, or in 2021 like JT Daniels is going to be the savior of this team, or like there's Eric Gilbert is a guy after the 20 like I feel like we as fans and we as media, we've been so starved for so long that when we do finally get these things, we want to jump to these massive conclusions. Like there can be some takeaways of, okay, here's where the roster's at, here's where the talent is, but I think the overarching, man, it's going to be a special season for so-and-so.
I don't want to tamper the expectations for our lone spring football game that we have. I want you to have all the hype around this that you humanly possibly can. However, the best player at every G-Day that I've ever covered did absolutely jack diddly that fall.
Yeah. That's fair to say.
All of them. Like even A.D. Mitchell's freshman year, he popped, and it was like, all right, he'll be good.
Mm-hmm. He'll be good, and then finally in the playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, we don't have to talk about Avery Gilbert, but that was all the rave.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think you just have to
I mean, even like
Brock Vandegrift had good springs for like 2 straight years.
I think you just have to understand that you have to take everything with a grain of salt, and you have to really contextualize everything.
You also, I think you have to realize how just absolutely diabolically genius your football coach is that he might manufacture some of this stuff.
Sure.
He's that good.
Absolutely.
I think they are that smart that if they want somebody to have success, that person will have success.
For sure.
So
I think that what you should do as a fan when you go into this event or you watch this event is to enjoy the fact that you get to get a first glimpse at the 2026 roster. Enjoy the fact that for a very small moment, for a minute, while it's a fraction of what it would be, you get to have a college football Saturday in Athens watching this team. I don't think you should be looking to walk away with any overarching, oh, this is the takeaway I have, this is what I can go into and think about our team going forward. Like, it's going to be another 6 months before these guys actually are playing football.
last question we'll take for the night, and then I want to get you guys out of here so we can have the week to ourselves.
We have a Super Chub question as well.
We have a Super Chub we're going to get to. This one comes from Jamil Sire in the Discord. Which one of these three do I want to take? How would you improve G-Day? I think my thing would be somehow magically paying Maria Taylor to come back to do walk and talk with Kirby during the spring game. I thought that was some of the most available and open that he ever is, and actually talks ball in those situations.
Right. I mean, and when you could tell when Kirby favors an analyst, like he loves Maria Taylor. She's a dog. She's covered this program. She's covered everything. She's done her job fantastically. Something like that, seeing a familiar face would be fantastic. Maybe like bring someone like Ludacris to perform before the game.
I don't know that improves the ultimate experience.
I mean, we was at Dr. Pepper Fan Fest where Luda was performing.
Hey, Ludacris.
They wasn't packed out there.
Ludacris does a bang-up job in a concert, but the G-Day performance, not on him either. Wouldn't say that was on him, but
you ever seen the Red Light District video where he's walking around with the big-ass Hulk hands?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
The honest answer, I think, though, is if you want to greatly improve the presentation of G-Day, you have to make it more fan-centric, and I don't think Kirby Smart's ever going to sacrifice his practice time, his stuff for that, to make things, solely about the fans. Yeah. Which is unfortunate, but at the same point, it's like...
I have game day operations suggestions for them if they ever want them. But I don't want to take a shot at that guy. He does a good job. He works hard, but he needs to work less. The pregame stuff, we expose ourselves too in the student section for lack of ball knowledge.
Oh, yeah,
general lack of ball knowledge.
I mean, like
Like, we don't know Jack Diddley.
Well, I love
about the school that we go to from a football standpoint.
I love our student section. A lot of those people, like, this is their first experience being indoctrinated in Georgia football. I do think that you do kind of expose them as, they're not the loyal fans that have been paying attention for their entire lives, but they're passionate still.
Let's get to these Super Chubs before we call it a week here on the network. Michael Harrington, 223, says, saw you on High Top. I'm about what you're throwing down. Love all the videos on breaking down film. Michael sounds like an absolute sicko, and Michael has found the right place because that's what we got going on, a bunch of sickos. Can we get a Jaden Kelly Murray tape watch or a Will Rajecki tape watch?
Shout out to Sequoia Chiefs.
Also, Kirby, go Chiefs.
Hell yeah.
My brother, go Dogs. Do you know Gavin Biffle?
I do not know Gavin Biffle personally.
All right, well, Gavin Biffle's a Sequoia Chief, and it can't be too many of those running around the internet. Kirby, the type of guy who refuses the free bowl of salsa at a Mexican restaurant.
I would never refuse free food. That's
egregious. That is true about him.
That's egregious.
That is very true about Kirby. I will tell you this. I've never seen Kirby happy. You just don't see it. Like, he doesn't smile all that much.
What?
He doesn't. He doesn't smile that much. He doesn't emote. You know what I mean? You don't see much from him. He's a very flatlined individual. However, if you let him know there's continental breakfast at the hotel, that boy is juiced.
Yeah, dude.
That boy right there.
Yeah,
see what I mean? That's the kind of smile I get from him from continental breakfast. But if you tell him anything other than that, it's kind of regular guy, which honestly good for me because I'm always up here. You know what I mean? And I kind of need somebody to level me down a little bit. Gavin Biffle doubled down. Over under Pugga touchdowns 1.5.
Over.
Elias Williams catches 2.5.
Over.
Over that. Over.
Zakai Helton pancakes 1.5.
Let's go over all across the board.
Clearing the overs.
I think
Let's
we're
do
going
it.
clear overs on that.
Hey, I love you guys. I had fun this week. I hope you did too. I hope you hit that thumbs up button on your way